double checking.
Yeah, man. All right, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of the Combat Report. We got Brian Greer. We got Brian. How do you pronounce your last name, Brian?
Hanel.
Hanel. Yeah, we got Brian Hanel here. We got Christopher Washington, and of course, you should know who I am by now. It's your boy, Evan Mays, aka MCE Mazing. You know, we're all here. We're all the part of the Combat Championship Series group, and we're bringing y'all some of our opinions, what stuff that matters to us, some interesting topics today. And this is episode 1 of the Combat Report. So, starting off, of course, we were notified that a young Smash prodigy has been beating the ever-loving mess out of some more established players. Brian Hanel, our boy, No Sleep Adachi, has the scoop
What
on
is
this.
up?
Tell us about it, sir.
Alright, guys, so we got this young player named, his Twitter handle, anyways, KHDD at DDeity. Is a young Smash player, according from what I've seen online or some of the reports, anyways, somewhere around age 13 or so. But he's been going toe to toe with top players such as Sam Sora. Seen like there's videos of this online. Sam Sora. We also got Zero up on there, and plenty of others. And also, he started playing with them more frequently. Also, it's kind of become a regular thing, which is honestly very cool. Honestly, in my opinion, to see top players kind of communicating with obviously especially the player that young in the scene and whatnot. He's gonna definitely turn into a force to be reckoned with in the future. Honestly, I can see him being a actually, he's gonna be a huge name in the future when he's once all this COVID stuff and whatnot's over. I can see him hitting locals if he's allowed and whatnot, and just going toe to toe with all the community there, and maybe coming out on top for most tournaments. Honestly, like some of his gameplay is crazy. He plays honestly, my opinion, he pretty much plays quite a sharper Pokemon trainer than what Leff and most of the other players play, because he uses each of them. Each of the different 3 characters that you have at your disposal mid-match. You got the Squirtle, you got the Ivysaur, you got the Charizard. And he knows just well enough how to recover from these crazy situations where most of the time you won't see people even, I guess, try to attempt it for the most part. It's kind of like halfway there, but nah, he's constantly switching between them, dishing out that damage and taking stock. So hope to see more from this kid in the future, of course.
All right, let's open up the floor real quick. Boys, Antique Legend, Crunch Time, what do you guys have to say about that?
Yeah, I think it's really good to see, some young talent coming into, the Smash community. They've always been a community that, has a wide range of, age groups really coming in and, supporting it. And I hope that this kid does become, a player in the scene, because that's only going to, make the FGC stronger and hopefully, become something like Hungry Box. I know I don't know a whole lot about Smash, but that's really good to hear that, young players out there are really, coming into the game and, beating guys like Zero, who I've heard of, and Sam Sora. So yeah, that's really good to hear.
Right. Yeah. They're it's like with this younger generation. They're coming up in the FGC really young, younger, they're stronger, they're faster. They're understanding the game at a rapid pace. So it's good to start seeing new young players start to rise. This is, even though it's a horrible time, but it's a perfect time because everybody's at home, everybody's online, and they just have nothing but time just to show everybody what they have, uh, have everybody, put their eyes on them. Once this whole COVID is done, he's going to be going to tournaments and winning majors. So can't wait to see it.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys, as fighting game players, how does it make you feel? I mean, because we've all kind of been in the community for a little while. Some of us longer than others. How does it make you feel personally? I mean, knowing that there are like younger players, like up and coming younger players that are like really young coming up and like really making a name for themselves right now in the FGC.
Yeah, I think that's really good that there's younger players, because you always need new blood and fresh talent coming in. I mean, people do come and go, from the FGC or any fight, any gaming community. So yeah, it's really good to see young players coming in, because that's only going to help grow the community and make it more better for the future.
It also creates some of the more hyper moments. Honestly, remember a while back there was also a young King player. Actually, I think he actually played at one of the locals. I think it was back when versus gameplay was still around. But he was playing King, and he got someone stuck in the death cradle. I think 4 times within a set, and
Oof.
that that was
Mm,
that was insane
wow.
as hell to see a young player like that popping off like that on King. Even garnered some attention from a little Majin at the time too, if I recall. So, but no,
Mm,
I'm looking forward to seeing players like that enter the scene, because not only is it out of the blue, of course, not to say that just because you're young you can't excel and play really get the game, but honestly, I feel like also when they start showing up and they start beating some of the more veteran players, it starts to kind of humble up the community. It kind of like builds this like, hey, I gotta get better. And furthermore, everybody starts growing and puts a lot more effort than they already have been. So, I mean, honestly, it's only going to go up from there. It's fun to watch.
right. No, it just to piggyback off of what both Brian said, it's it makes the veteran players step up their game, and also it brings new life into the game, keeps it going, because if you just have the same veteran players playing the game, then eventually a game gets to that cult legacy situation, and then that's it. It's just those group of people, but that are playing that game. But if you get younger people playing your game, then like I said, it breathes new life into that game, and then it brings more and more people playing that game, more attention to that game. And then of course that gives more success to that game, and then the company sees that, and then it's like, oh well, it's time to make a new game, and we get more support from the various fighting game companies.
All right, man.
That's good.
Yeah. Actually, I'd actually like to move to our next topic. What's called going off of what you just said there, Antique Legend, about breathing new life into games. So one of the things that
Mm,
I agree, I think it breathes new life into games, of course, is new characters, and especially in the game, one of the games that's really popping right now, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, and
mm-hmm.
we've had like a few new characters actually. I mean, well, how many? I mean, since March, we've had like 4 or 5 new characters come out. Like, I mean, from the character pack, we had Narmaya, we had Beelzebub, we had Soriz, we had Jita, and most recently, we had Zoe. So, we were going back in, I guess, reverse order. We can go from Antique Legend to Crunch Time to Adachi. I want to hear your guys' opinions. However you'd like to, put them out there. Whether about all the characters in general or about each character specifically. How do you feel about the characters that have just come out for Grand Blue Fantasy Versus?
With the DLC characters, I got this information from Anime Illuminati. He had a good point when he was saying like the game. It started out the characters are pretty simple, easy to learn, but with DLC, they're able to include more difficult characters to make the game, to make the game, keep the game interesting. You just like he was saying, you don't want a
Yeah.
whole game where every character is just simple, every character is easy. So with this DLC, he was saying that they're going to start bringing in characters with a higher learning curve just to balance it out a little more. And I think that that's a good thing for companies to do. You don't want to keep every character. You want to have a few simple, few in the mid range, few in the high range as far as difficulty and learning combo setup. But as far as all the characters, I mean Beelzebub, he was basically the boss character, so that was a given that he was going to come out. I'm not sure if he's as high as people thought. I think people were saying that he's kind of near the bottom, but I think
Really?
I like his moves. Yeah,
Ooh,
that's what a lot of people were saying. But
I don't agree with
I
that.
like his move set and his character design. So I don't know what he's missing, what he would be missing to be considered, towards the bottom. I have. she definitely has a high learning curve to move sets. So she's probably one of the first DLC characters that were non-simple. And then Soros, he's a brawler. You know, people still trying to learn how to really use his skills to the best of their ability to win with him. And of course, Jita, she's Grand's clone, or I call her his sister. So his
Yeah.
sister's in the game, you know, basically just like Grand, but she has the rave move, deadly rave move. So that's pretty cool to watch. And then of course Zoe, she's not simple. She has a lot of crazy setups that she can do, and people are definitely spending a lot of time to figure her out and show different combo routes online and just spreading information about her. She's definitely one of the newer characters that isn't simple. They're just going to continue that trend from here on out. Of course, they're probably going to throw a few simple here and there, but I think the next characters are going to be, you know, to that higher level of difficulty. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, Chris, on what you said about it. I think that the DLCs they've come out with are very good. Like you said, Narmaya, she's very complex, but I love her, stance switches, her uh, basically counter moves she does. She's very complex. I think it's going to take a few more months for people to figure her out and then to really get her down. Beelzebub, I like him. I think he is actually mid to top tier because he can just really keep the range. And I think that also he is going to take a little while to learn because, we have a few people that, we know personally that play Beelzebub and have shown that he is, a viable character and could really, do some things. With Jita, like Chris said, she is her basically grand sister and she's just very diverse. Her mix ups are great. She has that deadly ray, which is the most epic move I feel like in the game right now, and very very good character. Zoe, I think she is the most diverse character as far as mix up setups, full screen SBAs. She is very good. I like playing with her. I think she's going to become one of the most popular characters, and I think she's definitely right now looked at as one of the top 3 or 4 characters in the game, uh, and just very, very good. Soares, I think he's just a brawler right now. I would like to see him get buffed eventually, but I do like his game. Uh, See if people can make him work. But I just love the character diversity, and they seem like they put a lot of time into really making these characters good and coming up with some creativity. And like Chris said, hopefully they do, you know, have these characters be complex and be different as the DLCs come out because I think Grand Blue's done a really good job with their whole gameplay and as far as coming out with DLCs and coming out with them right after the game came out, not waiting like a game like Mortal Kombat, they are giving you what you pay for as soon as possible.
Right. Mhm.
Adachi.
All right. Well, from my end, honestly, I mean, I haven't played too much of main of the characters. I'm a filthy Lancelot main, so I'm gonna go ahead and generate
Oh,
some
this
hate real
guy.
quick on that.
Oh
This
man,
guy.
Uh,
yeah, man.
but
Put a nerf
honestly,
on.
when I mean, it is what it is. It happens. But nah. Honestly, realistically, they've done a great job releasing the characters and the frequency that they have in such a short period of time. Honestly, kind of like they said, I do agree. Narmaya is going to take a little bit longer for people. I feel like there's a lot more tech with her that has not been discovered yet. And I think just over time, it's just going to pick up more and more with her due to the stance changes and all of that. People are going to start finding a floor. Honestly, everyone's going to probably be playing her a lot different from each other. Hopefully, is what I'm hoping to see with her. Sora's, can't really say too much. I haven't looked up too much into him. I did dabble with him very slightly in the training mode. Did enjoy what I see, honestly, and played against one. Very fun character. Kind of what Chris said, very much a brawler and whatnot. So that's always enjoyable to see seeing those characters. Characters that just kind of go toe to toe, hit for hit most of the time, or just completely take control. Beelzebub, great design, of course, kind of like they said as well. Moveset is great, honestly, has a good mix of being able to close the gap as well as maintain a safe distance and kind of mixed up to different situations that would work out for the player, honestly. But then again, I haven't played against too many of them as well. I haven't seen anything with Zoe yet, honestly. So that's gonna be a little bit. Probably gonna do some training with her later on today, see what it's like. Jita, Deadly Rave. Not much more I can say. They pretty much already said everything that can be said about her. I'm seeing her being picked a lot and whatnot. She's a very solid character from the sounds of it. Great combo links and all that. Damage able to be done. Just generally fun to see, especially when people start popping out that Deadly Rave, which honestly the timing on it isn't as bad as it was supposed to be, I guess, or whatever. But nah, very solid, great stuff, 100% on it. So I'm only excited to see what more they can add. Honestly, more of the balancing, whether or not Lancelot gets nerfed or not, or whatever. Honestly, I just want to see,
We can only hope.
the dodges and
Yeah.
whatnot.
I'll have a wide
just the dodges and whatnot. I would like to see those kind of play as a bigger reward mechanic rather than kind of like
Oh, right.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Universal.
yeah, just
Buffs.
universal balances that. Honestly, just me personally. Then again, like I said, I'm not much of a competitor in that game, so people at the higher levels may disagree. Could just be, I guess, scrub quotes or whatever. But I really don't think people should be punished for calling out a proper dodge or stuff like that, whether it be
Definitely
for
agree
a
with
dodge
that.
roll or what's it called,
Mhm.
standing dodge or whatnot. So, but what's it
Mhm.
called?
Spot dodge.
Yeah, spot dodging with the auto correction, like you could roll past them and well, easily get jabbed out and just instantly get linked in. It's like, all right, cool. Then why the hell did I even bother dodging in the first place? Most of the time, I just feel it's more. It just feels like it's more rewarding, I guess, at this point. Just obviously play a strong defense, which nothing wrong with that, but
Yeah.
only time will tell.
Mhm.
Those are just some things I'd like to see. I think it would add a little bit more to it, but overall, the whole cast of the game, very solid characters. I'm not one for tier lists. So I'm just excited to see what kind of people do taking, I guess, what are the low tier characters and bringing them up through the ranks and whatnot. But it's a lot
Mhm.
of fun so far.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on that note, actually, like Adachi, I remember you said that you had an issue with the way that Lancelot's. If we're talking about Lancelot's like teleports worked and stuff like that. Could you expand on that?
Okay, so my biggest issue with Lancelot's movement mechanic, the whole dashing and whatnot, is the whole deal of having to start out with obviously a dodge forward because you have to do not a dodge forward, hitting X it'll send you forward, and then obviously you have to hit X again within the time that it's going to either dash back or either call it for a dash up or whatever stuff like that. One thing that I enjoy more in fighting games when having the choice and ability to be able to do manual inputs on those, so you can control which way you're going to go rather than being forced to having to take the approach first and then having to go back. Like a great example of a character like that would be Izayoi from Blaze Blue, also in Cross Tag whatnot. Her movement options, honestly, that's why she's my favorite character in that game. Honestly, aside from Hazama, just as a personality, what he is, and also just how he plays as well. But no, Izayoi, I love her movements, her kit, everything. She's very movement friendly, and it's just a lot of fun to kind of get those mind games going as you're like, people don't know if you're gonna be either going in at that time or you're still gonna be maintaining your distance, dashing between to the medium distance or back again, or just dashing in place. It's just one of those things where, I mean, they can do everything else to Lancelot, but if anything, please just give that fucking option. That's all I want. I will take whatever nerfs come that way. Just give me that at least, because I feel restricted.
I feel that, man. I feel that. On that same note, let's I'd actually like to pose another question to Antique Legend and Crunch Time as well. What problems do you guys have? Like, are there any other problems that you guys have with Grand Blue, like, and with like your specific characters, or perhaps a maybe certain mechanics in the game, other because I know Adachi was talking about how he his problems with the spot dodging and stuff like that, side dodging. Adachi, actually, before we move on, is there anything you'd like to add to that? Any other problems you have with Grand Blue besides that?
Any other problems?
Yeah.
I just feel the grabs feel janky at times. I'm not sure what it is. Like sometimes
agree
I'll
with
be up close within the same distance as
Yep.
somebody would grab me in and just doesn't connect. And honestly, at times I just can't comprehend like what's the difference between what they were doing at the same distance, or like why the hell is it whiffing when they're crouching, but I've been grabbed out,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Could be a big misunderstanding on the game on my part, but I'm just having a hard time understanding just kind of that for the most part.
What's called? We have Kicks in chat, and he says some of the character push boxes feel weird. Great example is Sora's.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
I agree with that. Yeah, definitely Sora.
Yeah,
Man.
pretty much what Kick said. That honestly, honestly, what he said sums it up great. You have to be inside the character model to grab at times, and
Yeah, you have
I
to be
guess that's
very,
what it
very
comes
close.
into. Damn
Yeah.
hitboxes. Fuck. I'm talking about the character hitboxes, not the awesome, pads and whatnot.
Oh yeah, man.
Right.
Let's get that out of the way real quick.
Right.
um,
I guess a problem that I have is like I use a lot of grapplers in various fighting games, and what my issue is specifically with Grand Blue with La Diva is her rush head slam move
mhm.
and her pile driver move. The motions are similar, so sometimes if I'm trying to do the pile driver move, her headbutt move comes out instead, or
Mm,
vice versa. So I don't like it when there's a character has a move set and the moves are on the same, I guess, same direction plane, if that makes sense. And so you're gonna most of the time you're gonna get either or. I wish it was either more lenient, or like if the pile driver move is always pretty much a 360 motion. If there's another move that's in that same plane, like just make it a different motion, totally different motion, so that way that moves don't get crossed over. I feel like a lot of games have moves that cross, and some companies they'll address it, which is rare, and it'll be like towards the end of the game, or like mid to towards the end of the game. It's like, oh, you're finally addressing this when it should have been addressed, day one. So I hope they get around to addressing moves that cross each other up. So that's pretty much my only issue right now. And of course oh yeah, and the throw range seem like with grapplers, they should have like the longest throw range, because that's what they do. They grab and throw people. So if I'm right next to a character and she's just throw whiffing the regular throw and her command grab, that makes no sense. Like give grapplers the throw range that they deserve, because that's the only thing they have.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
that's my issue.
I'm gonna have to agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting horrible flashbacks of being command grabbed into oblivion, but it's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I
Yeah,
agree with that because when you do those moments of what's it called inputs, they start clipping each other. It's a pain.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Mhm.
yeah, it really is. Yeah, like I said, the command grabs. That's my main issue with it, is that you have to be super close because the whiff on command grabs is way too high of a rate. I feel like it should just be a little bit longer, like I said, for grapplers especially. Also, another thing is like with Zeta's SSBA, you have to be super close and hit it at an angle that I don't think is humanly possible. It is just really frustrating when you're, properly setting up a SSBA and then it totally whiffs and then you get a counter SSBA, from the whoever you're
Mm.
playing. I think that's something that needs to change because certain people's SSBAs are a lot easier to input than other characters, and I think that needs to be
Mm.
balanced a little bit more.
Mm.
I think that's something that definitely does is kind of like also to decrease the startup of somebody like Suarez on his SSBA. That's something that needs to be changed because his is incredibly high. I don't know if there's a math equation and to get his to come out on the time that you want it to. But players like I feel like Lancelot, shout out to Brian. They get easy SSBAs. Not that you don't have to have any kind of talent, but it's just that you
Ooh.
just have to do a lot more certain characters, like I said, like Suarez, like Vasaraga. I think his SBA needs to be, the startup needs to be decreased on that. But
Mhm.
yeah, certain characters there's full screen, other characters it's not like Zeta. Her SSBA, you have to be just like holding hands in order to hit hers. So yeah, it's
Right.
just something I think needs to be, balanced out over time. I'm pretty sure that they will. They seem to be pretty good with feedback and doing what people want done.
Let's see. We got some quick comments in chat. Let's see. We're gonna. I'm just gonna catch us up real quick. Let's see. Kick says, "Source, you literally have to be inside the character model to grab. Meanwhile,
Yep.
Maya, you can be a model away and still grab." He also says, Ladiva has godlike buttons in neutral and a great walkback speed. Also says, grapplers in this game have ways to navigate neutral that they don't in other games. It's and I guess in regards to like the SSBA thing, it says that it's not a startup issue. It's more of a pushback plus lack of step forward. Oh, and then we have Tempest.
I don't know about that. Saurus players might get really upset about that.
Tempest says they aren't SNK grapplers, but better than most. Let's see. Kix also says Source's SSBA is a raging demon. 0 range on the initial stomp, but the follow-up will whiff a lot. It's like he's also played Soros.
Yeah, with City.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. This is just my personal opinion. Personally, I'm not too happy with Sors's SSBA that he does from his like
Takes
super
all day
mode.
to come out. Takes all day.
Yeah, because like first off, you got to actually get into that mode in the first place. I mean, it's
Only
cool.
character that has that kind of mode too.
Yeah, it's cool, but sometimes I feel like
The execution of it takes too long.
Yeah, it kind of because when he does the move, when he's doing the the actual his actual like form, like his going into his super mode, you can actually hit him while he's doing that. It's not like it's instant. He doesn't really have any invincibility frames while he's going into his super mode. You can actually hit him while he's doing that, and I was kind of like, I don't know about that. I mean, maybe that's that way by design, but sometimes I feel like, man, it would be kind of nice to just be able to go into that super like that.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. That's what I was saying. Is that I think Soros needs a little bit, quicker, startup time or less startup time on that because once he goes into super mode and he whiffs, counter SBA, good game.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say like his power up mode should be either easier to combo into instead of just having to pull it out, and then he definitely should have some invincibility frames and either priority because it's an activation move. It's not necessarily. I don't know if it hits when you activate, but I don't think it does. So it's kind of like, why is he at such a great disadvantage when you activate that move at such low health? So it just doesn't make sense, for him to, be designed like that.
Let's see. Tempest says, I feel like Kix might be right on that pushback statement. Then Kix also said, of course, I wish they'd flip it around. They should make the Fundoshi mode SBA. Of course, we got my man Adachi. He agrees with that. Says, if they made his SSBA invincible on startup, it'd be a lot more fun. I feel that it's supposed to be that comeback potential robbery monster. Yeah. I mean,
yes, exactly. If you're a grappler, you should get that.
It's like X Factor. Like it's X Factor for him almost.
Yeah. My only problem is you can't really use that mode unless you're almost dead. So I mean, it like you said, it's kind of supposed to be a comeback thing, and you get new extensions on your moves and stuff like that. But it's a little difficult sometimes. It's difficult to get back in there. Because you have to be able to get into that mode. You have to be able to get into that mode without getting hit, and you can still be hit. That means that you got to be far away. Ideally, you can't be right next to him when you're doing it. So then you have to be all the way on the other side of the screen. Ideally, do the power up into the super mode, and now you got to get back in. And then Kick says, if he could build stacks without taking damage, that'd be great too. Like get auto combo 5U. That's for those of you who don't know. That's like neutral, unique. 6 times for a stack. That would be great. It would be. It seems like the only way you can build stacks is you do your unique move and you have to be hit while you're doing it. Which wouldn't be so bad except for the fact that he still takes damage. it's reduced damage, but you know, it's still damage. It puts you
Yeah.
ever
Yeah,
closer to that threshold. I mean, depending on what character you are, sometimes, like if you're like me, you play Lil Wayne, you're kind of hoping to get into that threshold, that 30% threshold at 100% and 100% super, so you can bring out Big Auntie, aka Yggdrasil. So you're kind of like, I mean, like I've done it several times where I've been winning a match, and they've kind of like, people have been in that 30%, getting close to the 30% range, but not necessarily close enough to do an SSBA. So what I'll do is I'll let myself get hit a bunch of times, you know, and then like get to the 30%, knock them away from me, throw a whole bunch of garbage on the screen, and then I'll do Yggdrasil. And I'll just be like, lightning, floor is lava, lightning, green orb, rocks. But you know, I feel like there's more.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm being. Sometimes I feel Lil Wayne is being rewarded a little bit more. I mean, because let's face it, he's not as good as other characters in the game, like as a normal character. So I feel like me and Kix were talking about this a while ago about how they should rebalance Lil Wayne so he's better as a standalone character without having to depend basically almost lean a lot on his SBA and his SSBA. You know, I mean, mostly on his SSBA.
Yeah, he's an all or nothing character right now.
Yeah. Let's see. Can you activate on knockdown? It's like questioning because I have been in a cave. Are you talking about the SBA or the SSBA? You're talking about the what you call it, like his like supers, like his power up or whatever. Because I mean, you might be able to do it like I think if you were using Soros and you like did his like what do you call that move, his unique, and you knocked them down, you could possibly. This was when Soros was still being discussed. Okay. Yeah. Like it's like if I think if you do like the move and you use his special ability, because if you have it and you press forward and one of the face buttons, he flexes, it knocks him down. I think you can go ahead and just like go ahead and do the move. Maybe I go ahead and go into a super, but I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I think that's like the only way you can get it done. Otherwise, you know, you're kind of in a bind. I think like ideally you either have to be, I guess, like he says, like you either have to knock them down, kind of have to do it after knockdown, or you have to you have to wait until you're like halfway across the screen. Oh, we are OCF in chat. What's going on, man?
Hey,
Octavian.
what's up?
What up?
Great work on those videos, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's our boy.
That's funny. That's
Shout
funny.
out to him.
Cause like otherwise, I mean, like cause like I don't feel like he gets too many. I mean, I'm kind of a novice when it comes to frames, but I feel like the only move that he gets a decent amount of plus frames on is the one where he smashes the ground. 5U follow up is bad because even on counter hit you get an animation, but you get like 300 damage and no combo unless it's counter hit, close proximity, and crouching. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into that. There's a lot. It's a whole lot.
Definitely.
I would say Soros is he's a cool character, to be sure. He is a cool character, but definitely not ideal right now. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree with that. He's definitely a cool character, very unique, but definitely needs to be buffed and needs to be kind of balanced out to be more fair as far as getting credit for his inputs. Because I think right now he's a real big whiff character, unfortunately. Because when he whiffs, I mean, you're going to get a clear advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he definitely needs not just buffs, but I think they need to take a look at his moves and kind of change him up. They're gonna have to like change it up, especially his buff installs. That should be just automatic, or at least they need to figure out a way where you can install more for his buff counter move. And then for his power up super, they either need to make it to where he's got advantage, he's plus, or you can actually combo into his power up and then still continue into some other moves instead of just he did it and he can get interrupted or he can get countered because it just doesn't make sense. So like you were saying, Evan, like you literally have to do it across the screen and then you have to get back in. So it's just kind of counterproductive on his character design, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely agree with that.
Real quick, Tempest To, thank you for the follow, man.
Yeah, thank you very
Yeah,
much for that
thank
follow,
you.
bro.
Appreciate it very
yeah,
much.
thank you. Appreciate it.
What else?
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't really got too much of an opinion on it, really. I mean, I'm not too familiar when it comes to frame data and stuff like that. Honestly, when it comes to my play, so I'm very unga bunga, try to get people break through their defense. Honestly, I can't lie about that, man. That's just the way I've always
Unga
been.
bunga.
Hey,
Mhm.
gotta be honest with y'all. Very
Yeah.
unga bunga.
Know for what you know.
Right,
Oh
right.
yeah. I mean, there's still a point where I do kind of want to learn the whole what's it called, frame data stuff. I have not played the new nerf to Lance yet. What did they do to him, anyways? Honestly, 'cause like I said, I really.
Oh, they didn't do nothing.
No shit. Well, I mean, honestly, the best way I can say for the stuff that I do, honestly, like
You're still
I could
good.
talk to you guys about like Final Fantasy 14 all day, every day, the raid, current meta stuff like that. I got that down packed. But fighting games, man, that's a whole new beast for me. I still got to learn a lot when it comes to that. I mean, I can hold my own in a lot of matches. I can pick stuff up fairly quick, but it's still one of those things that takes time, but still very fun to play.
Yeah.
5U has
Yeah.
recovery now. The dash. Let's see.
Was that necessary? I don't.
Game is 0 at must.
Was that I don't know. Was that absolutely necessary? For Gorilla Blade.
You messes with his. Oh shit.
Man, Gorilla Blade has longer startup too. It messes with his like what forward hit confirm into 66H. For those
Which
of
is
you,
that dash?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I'm gonna have to look into that.
I got y'all.
I'm gonna have to look
Hold
into
on.
all of that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha, right
Fireball
here.
is no longer a bypass neutral card. Oh, really?
Damn it! Well, there
Really?
goes my whole
I got
strategy.
y'all right here. I got
He
y'all.
actually has to
I got
play
all
the
of it.
game now.
Oh shit, that hurts. Well,
I
guys,
put the
it's been
I put the notes in the
Oh
chat.
man, y'all act like he's Vasaraga now.
I put the patch notes in the chat for
Hey, well,
Lancelot.
He said
You know what?
Vasaraga. Oh man.
I
this-
said, y'all are acting like y'all acting like he's Vasaraga
I was
now.
gonna say it don't matter to me because I'm still gonna support my boy and play him regardless, nerfs or
Yeah,
not.
there you go. There you go. Just because he's not top tier no more.
I also still want to try Vasaraga after seeing some
Well,
of the
you
plays that
better
Birdie
go,
made.
you better go to Home Depot first.
Yeah,
You
I'm
better go to
telling
Home
you, yo, like I'll tell you, yo, like I played Bergie back when
Now he's a good player. He's
Yeah.
a good Vasaraga player.
Yeah, he's
He's
yeah.
really
Mm.
Yeah, it's fun to. I mean, just generally speaking, it's fun to watch him play the game. As
He plays
Vasaraga.
a
Mhm.
very defensive base Vasaraga. He's very, very good.
Yeah.
He's very good.
Yeah, man. I remember like back when we started playing. Of course, I was already playing Lil Wayne back then, and he was playing Voss. He was playing Voss, and you know, it was really interesting because I mean, when he figured me out, because eventually he did figure me out, because I mean, you can only do so much scumbaggery before people start to catch on, and and you know, he started using his armor a lot and stuff, and eventually it's just like, oh man, this guy, he's got me. He got me.
Mm.
Yeah.
He's got me. It was really interesting, man. It was really great. Really great seeing him do so well in the last tournament. I'm glad he signed up for this week as well.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's a really good player. Yeah, I love his style.
Yeah, like
Exactly, Tempest.
yeah, exactly. Man.
I mean,
Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
I would say, honestly, that's still the reason why I still play Captain Falcon in Smash Ultimate, even though I could either bust out my Joker or Violet. Love Falcon a lot. Like, I'll even play him against horrible matchups, be like characters that can zone me out and shit, Mega Man, whatnot. I'll still go for it. Doesn't matter to me. I'm still gonna find a way to get in.
Right.
Which I wish more people would stick to the characters they love, even with the nerfs, because you never know. There could be something I mean, like you said, overcoming that adversity when it comes to learning how to overcome that wall that's in front of you, when you finally do and it all makes sense, it's like a whole
Best feeling.
new game to you. Honestly, that's
Mhm.
that's at
Been
least
there
how it
many
feels
times.
for me when I get over and finally break through stuff like that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Right.
Okay. So, speaking of adversity, there's something we'd like to talk about really quick. Um, the Guilty Gear Strive beta.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
This is where I
Uh,
log off. This is where I log off.
is Okay, so let me preface it with this. It wasn't horrible. I mean, it's a beta. You got to give them you got to give them a little you got to give them leeway. But man, first off, I mean, you know what? I'm not even gonna go first. I'm gonna let Antique Legend go ahead and Antique Legend go ahead real
Oh,
quick.
that's not a good thing. That is not a good thing.
Okay.
I'll go first.
So being a Guilty Gear fan, Guilty Gear has always been a very advanced technical game. And with Strive, it seems like they're taking the Street Fighter V route and making it a little bit simpler, a little bit more approachable for, casual people or people who haven't played a Guilty Gear game. And there's still there's a little bit technical aspect of it, but they still have a lot of time to really flesh out the game, add, more stuff to it, because if it stays in the current state as far as the system, then I think the more uh, retro veteran players aren't really going to like it, and they're just going to go back to previous games. So they're going to have to boost up the advanced gameplay just a little bit more. Definitely got to fix the in-game UI, because there's too much going on. I didn't mind it. The only thing I didn't like was that the character, like the icons were moving with the energy bars. I've never seen that in a game before, at least. So I would rather have the character images stay put and then the energy bars move. And then of course the burst bar, that needs to stay put, because that moving, I wasn't even looking at the burst bar at all. And yeah, I mean, but the visuals are on point as far as in-game
Oh yeah.
visuals on point. Character models are on point. I did hear like some of the veteran games, like Anime Illuminati was saying, like some of the animations were a little wonky, but other than that, visuals are on point. But the lobby system, that has to go away. Them going from the traditional, miniature arcade, and you got your character and you're running around to different arcade cabinets to matchmake with people. That there was nothing wrong with that system. That was a perfect system. It's perfect design. Everybody's used to it. Most everybody likes it. To go from that to the pixel art, indie game style. Like when I was watching someone play Guilty Gear, and they just had the lobby up, and it was the first day that it was up, and I was like, wait a minute, they're not playing Guilty Gear. What is this? And then I go into their stream, and then they finally get into the game, and I was like, wow, what were they thinking with the lobbies? And and it's hard to connect to people, because it's like you got your character, and you got to have your weapon out, and you don't know when you're matchmaking or when you're not matchmaking, and you get kicked out of the lobby. Like it is just horrible. So they got a lot of work to do as far as the lobby and matchmaking, and of course with the main game. But that lobby system has to go. I'm gonna let Evan take over from that.
Okay, so first, everything he just said, pretty on point. But in my response to the way I mean, my biggest problem, like Tempest said, he says like Strive needs adjustments. It's a start. Their approach is more damage, less simplification. Yes, emphasis on more damage. Okay. One problem I had with the way that they did it was you have what's called Potemkin. Now, if anybody ever played Potemkin before, you know there's a when Potemkin does the ground slam, he hits the ground and you fall down, and it doesn't do any damage, but it's a way for Potemkin to you're on the ground, he's walking over to you because Potemkin's slow. He doesn't have a dash in. You know, not really.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have like a dash, like a normal dash like everyone else does. So he got like it's a way for him to get in. But instead of just keeping it like that, they decided, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to just like make it so it does a ton of damage whenever you do it. So he slams the ground and you get like, especially if you're Chip Zandvoort, my God, that's like almost a quarter of your health. That's almost a quarter of your health in that one hit. And it's like a long range move. It's basically a long range move. Oh, were you standing on the ground? Oh, too bad. Now you just lost a quarter of your health. But
Hey, I was loving doing that move, especially in the combo. When you do that slow-mo break move, I forgot what it's called, but you still do that slow-mo break move, and you can punch, and then you do that ground move right after. I was loving that. And then literally three command grabs from him, and you're dead. You are dead.
It's crazy.
That's
Yeah.
shit.
And like the thing about it is, it's like now if that wasn't bad, like that's a separate issue on its own. The thing about it is that my biggest problem with Strive is that lobby, man. It like Antique Legend said, it has to go away. I'm sorry, man. It's chaotic. They have a thing where you can actually just go over to the person that you want to play. But if you're going to do that, why even do that lobby system in the first place? Like, just don't even do that. If you're going to have a thing where you can be like, okay, I'm just going to jump over here to zip over here to this person that I want to play. You know, a lot of times you just got to be looking for people's like nameplates and stuff like that. Man, I wasn't feeling that. And then of course the thing where you gotta have your weapons out, so you're trying to play with the person that you're trying to play with, but then sometimes the game is running mad slow, or somebody else is like, there's like 8 people crowding up there with you, and you're fighting the wrong dude. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? And then you don't really realize it until you're almost already in a match. Then you don't even know that you're matchmaking. This is a simple thing that you can change. It's like, there's a thing that tells you that there's matchmaking. Now, it's not here at the top of your screen. It's not in the middle, or it's not even at the bottom. It's like down to the left in like a small box. It's like, oh, we're matchmaking you right now. And you're kind of like, hey, did it freeze? What's going on?
Yeah. Yeah, it was very confusing to know when you were matchmaking. And Evan forgot to mention the biggest issue. The lobbies were in parallel universes.
Man.
I'm gonna let him take it. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna let him take it.
Oh man.
I'm gonna let him take it.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Once again, I know it's a beta. Okay. We all know it's a beta. But like, what they would do is, if you wanted to go to the same room in the same region, sometimes they will put you in different versions of the same room. So you have to continuously go in and come out, go in and come out, go in and come out, over and over and over and over and over again, to see if you got into the same instance of that room as your friend. You know, me and Antique Legend tried several times. We had One Winged Angel. We're trying to play with him, and it just didn't work out. It was like, I think I spent more time trying to play a match than I did actually playing a match. You know, like it's like I think we spent like a whole night doing that. And I know there were other days after that. I knew there were other days where you could have played the beta after that. I wasn't interested anymore. I wasn't interested. I wasn't interested no more. I wasn't interested anymore.
You were an angry consumer?
Yeah, man. Yo, I was an angry beta tester, bro. I was done. I was like,
bro, we weren't only trying to battle each other. We were battling the whole game.
Oh,
yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey.
We were battling the
Like
whole
y'all were
game.
octopuses. Y'all were out there.
The lobby system. We were battling the lobby system, the matchmaking.
Yeah, that's
trying to find each other.
Oh man.
I could.
I
Like
like
not
it.
a
it was
fighting game, but the
it
game
was pretty bad.
Whew.
I
was-
I can't.
Like literally, you think playing the game was stressful? Like literally, once we got into a match, stress was gone. Like that. As soon as I got into a match, I was just like, okay, I made it. I don't care what happens. I made
Yeah,
it.
and that's if they let you into the match, because like sometimes you'd be matchmaking and then it'd be like, oh, disconnection. You're back to the main
Yep.
screen.
This sounds like a Sam show lobby.
Yep.
Disconnection. You're back to the main screen.
Right.
I don't know, man. I didn't want to go back after that. I didn't want to go back. I was
Yeah.
like, I didn't even do the survey. I was just
That
like,
doesn't sound good for your health.
this was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
That controller
He
dropped.
was out day one.
I'm out.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
dude was out after day one.
Definitely know what to hold them, Evan.
I'm gonna go play a game that works.
Right?
I'm gonna play a game that works. But
Yeah.
oh my god, I'm telling you, it's like, I mean, like I said, I know it's a beta. It was a beta, and of course there's going to be hiccups. But the hiccups, it was like maybe if the lobby system had been a little bit more, it had been less chaotic. It's just like all this stuff going on in there, and you're constantly trying to, come over here, put out your weapons, and then fight. Man, just take it back to the old ones where you just sit in front of an arcade cabinet and play each other. Is that so much to ask? I ask you. I don't think I'm being too demanding. Maybe
No?
I'm just too demanding. Maybe I'm just like my mother.
Yeah. Right?
Maybe I'm
Got that
just
Prince
like my
in there.
mother. She's never
Yeah.
satisfied. Why do we scream at
man.
each other?
This guilty
This is
gear.
what it sounds like when
They don't
doves
know.
cry.
They don't know about that. They don't know
Oh,
about that.
man. Oh, man.
You
Boy,
giving
we're
them
about
too
to-
much.
Oh,
You giving
wow.
them too much. They don't know about that.
Out here writing poetry.
They don't know about that.
Oh my god. Okay, so
But I got one more. What was I gonna say?
go ahead, man. Go ahead.
But I feel bad because after the beta, you got a code to do the survey. I feel bad for my man Evan because he wasn't heard. He didn't get a chance to get heard. But
Oh,
yeah, they
no.
had a long. It was a real good survey, and you had multiple times. They asked you about every aspect of the game. What characters you wanted to see, what you thought about the gameplay, matchmaking, lobby, graphics, music. They asked you everything about the game, and pretty much a lot of people filled it out. So hopefully they heard us about at least mainly the lobby. As long as they heard us about the lobby and then of course the actual gameplay, then we're good. If they just go back to the normal lobby from the previous games, then I'm good. But if they keep that same lobby, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I can't do it.
Oh, Tempest says he missed the survey by hours.
Two people. Man,
They don't want to hear what I have to say, man. So I think it's kind of.
that was the first thing I did. I went straight to the lobby. I was like, yep, let me go ahead and get this in.
I mean, what's it called? I mean, I feel like Evan's survey went something like this. What was your favorite part about Guilty Gear Strive beta? It ended. Submit.
Yep. Yep. Two
Oh
words.
man. Oh man. Yeah.
Uninstall, close application.
Yep.
It's like, man, get this off my PS4. Like,
Yeah.
Get this shit off me.
oh my
Probably.
goodness.
Whew.
Oh,
I
man.
hope they plan on doing another one because
Yeah.
they're way ahead of the game with that.
Yeah, man.
They need to do one more.
I feel
Yeah.
like they'll get their shit together. I hope, anyways. Hope they don't, make me eat my words right there. But if they do, they're not getting money out of me. I mean, simple as that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
yeah, man. Because like, if that had been like, if that had been something I had to pay for, man, I'd be hot mad. You know, like, I wouldn't even. I'd be done. I'd be done. Man.
Mhm.
I'd be like, all right, you know what, guys, I can't do this. Don't even ask me about the game. Forget it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
Man, the current state of the game is, I mean, it's like I said, it's the beta, but no. Speaking
Yeah.
of current states, let's talk about the current state of the fighting game community. Um, let's start with our boy Antique Legend. We'll go back around. Antique Legend, then Crunch Time, and then No Sleep Adachi. Let me get you guys' thoughts on what's going on in the FGC right now. A lot of it's changed a lot in the past few months. Things are a lot different than they were back in December, January even. Things are a lot different now. A couple months make a huge amount of difference. So let's discuss. We'll also, at the very end, after everybody gets their turn, we're going to refer to the chat. So if you have questions, make sure, if you have a specific question that you want to have addressed right now, make sure you put at Combat Series so it's highlighted so we know which exact question to address. Antique Legend, go ahead.
Well, I think a lot of companies or TOs have started, they made the transition into doing online tournaments, especially prime example Wednesday night fights. Like Brian was saying a while back, literally you couldn't even tell the difference. They're on point with their local tournaments, and of course they did online events as well, but they had a perfect transition. They just went right in to online tournaments, Wednesday night fights, Team Spooky. We even got the Houston Battle Royale. They're starting to do stuff. So a lot of different tournament places, locals are starting to do their own tournaments. Even, high profile players like Punk, he's doing his own online stuff. I saw Shein, he was doing his own online Grand Blue Fantasy Versus tournament. So a lot of people are starting to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I've also seen a lot of negative feedbacks from the online because people want to get back to being in person. And that's understandable because playing fighting games offline is optimal. But they got to realize that this whole pandemic, it's not going to go away anytime soon. It's going to be a while. It's going to be a good time. And then even when things settle down, if that thing is still going around, there's not really a definitive treatment cure for preventing it out yet. Not companies that are testing different medicines or whatnot, like actual cure. There's always going to be that risk of the unknown, of that unknown person at an event, and if they have it, they could be asymptomatic and spread it to someone, and then that eventually gets around and gets to someone's loved one that can't survive it. Then it's just gonna start all over again. So it's gonna be a while before we can comfortably be in a local setting again. So I think people just need to calm down because people are wilding out online. Just the FGC is not in the greatest position right now. It's like, yeah, we have a lot of opportunity to play online, but there's also a lot more drama involved with, being everybody's cooped up, everybody's frustrated, everybody's stressful. So I think people need to just calm down, just make the most of this, take advantage of it, and not just get too stressed out, just go immediately to the negative, saying the wrong stuff or having the wrong actions, especially online, because we can't talk in person. So the first place that you can communicate is online. And if you go online and you're just wilding out, or someone says something and you say something back to them, and then next moment you're banned for a year from a tournament. We all know what I'm talking about. I don't want to get into it in too much details unless y'all want to go. See Adachi over there.
Hey man, I'm just stretching.
but everybody in the FGC just needs to calm down, relax, just use this time to just hone your skills in whatever fighting games that you play. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of online tournaments, and it's not the best way to play, but just take advantage of it. That's pretty much all I have to say for it right now.
Yeah, I agree with you, Chris. That there is a whole new world here because I really do think the FGC is in a whole new world now. There are no in-person tournaments. I think that a lot of people in the FGC need to relax and be patient. A lot of people have not done online tournaments. We're doing the best we can as far as a community. Like you said, you have Wednesday night fights. Team Speak with NLBC. You have Ronin Rumble. There are a lot of events that have sprung up over the last couple of months since the pandemic situation. And I just think that a lot of people are being negative for no reason, to be really honest with you, because we could have nothing. What if technology was not to the point where we could do online events? We need
Mm,
to be
Yeah.
grateful for what we do have right now, and that
right.
understand that we are able to connect like we are right now doing this show. That there is a opportunity to still get to play fighting games and connect on a certain level. And I just think that sadly there's a time now where people just like to troll and just be negative for really no reason. If you're gonna
Mm,
be negative, at least have a solution. If you don't have a solution, then really just don't sit there and knock people in tournaments that are going on in the FGC. Sometimes I think has too much of an addiction of doing that. People are putting their time, money, and effort into trying to make the best out of this situation. And like Chris said, it's going to be a while before there is going to be in-person events again because you cannot spread the virus in person and get it to a loved one or whatever, and then you have a whole bigger situation on your hands. So yeah, I just think that overall there are a lot of great events online and people are trying to adjust and do the best they can. And the FGC needs to come together because, we have been a community, sadly, that has been known for a lot of trolling and negativity. But I think this is a time, like you said, to hone your craft, get better at certain games. You have a new game like Grand Blue that has, gotten a lot of positive feedback, and other games. There are so many good games out there. Take the time to level up and get better and, come together and meet new people because you have, apps like Discord where you can meet new people and you can get together and lab and get better at every game that you want to get better at. So people have always said I wanted time at home. Now you have it.
Yeah.
mm, right. It's
Yeah.
true.
Adachi.
Oh shit. Yeah, there we go. Nah. 100% agree. Honestly, this is a time where, I mean, honestly, patience is going to be key. There's no point in going out there and putting everyone at risk. I mean, everyone's at risk. Then, I mean, honestly, chances are there won't be a tournament after that. Then and whatnot. I agree. I still hate online as well. From time to time, honestly, depending on the game. Grand Blue is one of the very few fighting games that has some good net play from what I've had. I've also never had too many issues with Unist. Love Unist as well. Uh, but currently, I mean, yeah, people should just focus on working on labbing and whatnot, so that way when the doors do open, they can come swinging right out the gates and relieve all that pent up, I guess, competitive spirit that they have that they want to just have an insane set with somebody in person without that whole input lag and whatnot. And yeah, I did say Eunice, love it, Gordo player. Uh,
Mm,
a
Disgusting.
lot of good stuff. I know. I mean, I'm fine with that. I am perfectly fine with that. I don't look at tier lists, man. I don't even know if he's top or bottom. Don't care either. Hell yeah, man. Unga Bunga Caveman, let's go.
Yeah. One thing about
Ah.
Brian is unga bunga.
I mean, I explained it early. I mean, I play Jury in Street Fighter when I do.
Keep it
Akuma
simple.
also, but
hmm Been a while.
Mm.
yeah, it has definitely been a while. But nah, also start. They should also kind of hit up the. I mean, aside from training themselves, I honestly think they should start training some of the new people that want to get involved with the games I've been popping up in different discords and whatnot. So
Definitely.
just kind of like help those new players get in so they can kind of see the love and whatnot that people actually have for the community, which is shown whether it be in the grudge matches or the matches themselves. There's a lot of emotion that goes into it, especially when somebody finally wins after going on a long losing streak. It's just it's overall something magical that I've seen in many of the obvious cheesy quote EVO moments, but like there's a lot of stuff and it's really fun to watch. So
Mm,
I mean honestly that's just kind of my baseline opinion on it all. just kind of got to show that patience, take your time. Freaking out and writing stuff online isn't going to make anything go any faster. So, I mean, just kind of enjoy this quote forced vacation as best as you can. Honestly,
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I definitely agree
just
with
kind
that.
of make the best out of a shitty situation in any way that you can, for the most part. Honestly, so.
Mm-hmm.
And also
Yeah.
stay safe out there, guys. On
Oh,
top
yeah.
of that, when you do go out,
Definitely.
definitely make sure to stay safe and whatnot. So.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Hey,
Exactly.
shout out to our man Cat Thrower 16 out in the chat. We see you, bro. We see you.
Oh,
We
snap.
miss you too, man.
Yeah, we
The
miss you too,
legendary
yo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. What's good?
We
True,
When you
true.
gonna play Grand Blue with us?
that Grand Blue. I'm like shit. So yeah, man. Speaking of online tournaments, we actually we have one of our own going on right now. We actually have a Grand Blue League we have going on. I'm gonna go open this up to just about anybody in the what's called, like anybody who wants to go ahead and expand on that. The Rivals
Yeah, I'll
League.
go ahead and start that. With the Rivals League, we started a Grand Blue Fantasy Versus League. It's a 12-week league, and it's for any Texas players that want to, get out there and play. We've had really good matches. We're going into our fourth week tomorrow, and I really have had a lot of fun doing this, and bringing the community together. And I know you guys, have been really, a big part of this, and the matches have been incredible. We got Evan on the mic, just doing everything basically, the whole star of this whole league, and
Yes, sir.
real a real great time every Saturday doing this, and I think that this has potential to really, help Texas FGC and force the Dallas FGC just really be on top, because we all love Grand Blue. We all know it's a really good game, and I just think that Rivals League is really going to be a lot of fun. And shout out to Collisions for co-hosting this with us.
Our
John,
brothers.
Right.
Yeah, those
they've
were
done a great job.
yeah.
Yeah, you might want to tell them.
Oh yeah, my bad, man. I wanted
No,
to
it's all
say
good.
I wanted to say that yeah, definitely go check out our boys over at Collisions. Like they're we could not have done this without them. Like they come like I mean, if you ever listened to any of the been to any of the when we're actually streaming the league, we have I'm commentating, but I'm commentating some of them, but the best I think some of the best times are when me and Kix are kind of commentating together. I've heard that we're a pretty good team together as like a kind of like a dynamic duo, I guess you would say, in terms of commentary. And yeah, definitely go over there. They follow Collisions. Matter of fact, let me go shout them out in the chat real quick. Collisions FGC that we they host, we alternate weekends hosting the tournament. This weekend it's going to be Collisions, so make sure that you go right over there right now. Oh man, you know what? Hold on one
Yeah,
second.
we gotta set up those
We
commands.
actually got to set up those commands, man. So instead of doing that, I'm just gonna go ahead and if you want something done right, I mean, if you really want something done right, you got to do it yourself, man. You know what I mean?
I feel
Absolutely.
that.
You know,
Right.
I myself have had to do this like several times in the past, so I'm not even scared. www.twitch.tv/collisions FGC. Go follow them. Go check them out. And for those of you who want to actually join in the what's called the actual league, I will put we're going to go ahead and put the actual link in chat really quickly. Just give me 1 second. But yes, Brian, continue, sir. I'm sorry, I wanted to
Oh
go ahead
no,
and
you're fine.
recognize our brothers in arms before we continued on.
Oh
Definitely
yeah.
give them some love.
Yeah, definitely give them some love. Yeah, like I said, this has been a really good
Yeah.
tournament. A lot of the top players in Texas have come out. We wanted to do this, like I said, during this time, but even after this, this is something that we really want to continue and make, something that really, continues to push the FGC, because I think there's a lot of potential with doing an online league and really, becoming a standard in the FGC, hopefully.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Definitely. And tomorrow, if you do want to check us out, it's at 1 p.m. Central Time. The tournament starts, so make sure to check us out on Twitch. We also do have our recap videos done by the one and only Octavian. That is
Yes,
on
sir.
our YouTube channel, Combat FGC. And also, you can follow us on our Twitter page at Combat Gaming _. We really do have a lot of updates on there and the standings. You can keep up with everything. Even if you're not in Texas, hopefully we do span outside of Texas in the future, but you can really catch out a lot of the really good commentary by the one and only Evan and the matches, just
Mm.
what we're all about, because I think that this has been really fantastic.
oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
oh yeah.
and of course,
Go ahead, Brian.
I was saying,
Adachi.
of course, also, each week the players are coming back stronger and better than the weeks before. It's
Yeah.
awesome to see kind of from where they started out in the start of the league to where they are at now. A lot of them are like, there's a lot of stuff that's going on. It's awesome. You guys should definitely check it out tomorrow.
Mm.
Definitely not a shameless go do it, but you should definitely go do it.
Yeah, definitely not a shameless plug. I mean,
No, not at all.
Right.
Not at all.
well,
Not at all.
it's called
Not at all.
elegant self-promotion.
Very tasteful. Very tasteful, Brian.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Mm.
that's elegant self-promotion, bro. You kidding me?
Exactly. Man of culture.
Yeah.
I like to think so.
Yeah, and
Right.
and speaking of tournaments, Fight Sessions wants to talk about EVO being canceled. How do we feel about that?
Oh boy.
How do you feel about that, guys?
Oh man, this is loaded. Who wants to start this one out?
I'll take up the rear.
I
Okay. All right.
I guess
Yes,
I'll start out. I'll let
start
you
it out,
guys
man.
hit those criticisms.
Well, it wasn't canceled. It wasn't canceled now. It was.
Yeah, not so. So initially they're saying they're going to be making a statement. Apparently that statement now it's not canceled, but in fact they're going along with it apparently to do it online now. So honestly, I'm curious as to see how EVO is going to handle that with them trying to move it to an online platform. Personally, I can kind of see it maybe work. Pings and whatnot, it's going to be trash, but but I mean, we're gonna see a lot of raging. I can see that. But I mean, honestly, aside from that, with the pull that they kind of have with the, anyways, the games that they do host there, Unis and whatnot, etc., Tekken, just kind of the pull that they have with the ones that actually do actively support their FGC and whatnot. What's it called? Maybe they can pull something together with some, putting some money forward for some better servers with, all the money that they got from submissions or whatever. You get what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
The chances of that happening, who knows? Honestly, just kind of gonna see what's it called? Just kind of gotta see what happens. We'll see what happens when it does happen. I'm hoping that it does work out, honestly, because EVO is one of the things that I actually do look forward to each year. Honestly, it's one of the more. It's definitely the funner thing for me to watch during the year time. So definitely hoping for the best. There's no reason for me to wish that, hey, the ship's gonna sink. Might as well go get the lifeboat. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's just my view on it. Hopefully goes perfect. Well, it's not gonna go perfectly. I'm not even gonna try to say that. I'm hoping it goes as good as it can be. There we go. There you go. That's my input.
Whew. Anyone else?
Definitely.
Yeah, I'll go next. There's some major issues with this. So let me start off by saying, okay, so the lineup was Eunice, then we have Smash, then we have Dragon Ball Fighters, Tekken 7, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Street Fighter 5, Soul Calibur 6, Grand Blue, and Samurai Showdown. So explain to me how anybody's gonna play Marvel vs. Capcom 2 for one. Who has that game? What platform are you gonna play that on online? So that's number one. And then the second one, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. What platform are you gonna play that on? Because they weren't smart enough to do crossplay. because you put it on Steam, which okay, cool, you know, PC people can play too, but
Oh,
you
shit.
put it on Steam, and we can't play each other. And most tournaments are on console, especially PS4. So how is that gonna work? And then Street Fighter V's good. They're
Yeah.
good.
I
Yeah.
don't know, man. That netcode still needs to be fixed.
Yeah, netcode.
Yeah.
Besides the netcode,
Yeah.
the netcode is gonna kill Malone. And then fighters, I don't think is that crossplay.
Nah.
Nah.
So that's
Isn't.
done. Tekken 7's not crossplay, so that's done. Eunice, I don't even know what to say about that one.
What do you mean?
And then no, I don't know. Like I don't know much about it. Is what I'm saying. I don't know.
I was like,
No, I'm not dissing Eunice. No, I am not disrespecting Eunice. I'm just saying I don't know if it's crossplay or PC, PS4, and then Smash Brothers. They're good because everybody has a Switch, so they're good. And then Sam Show, I'm not really sure how that's gonna work. So how is this gonna work? You're gonna do, you know, people who play on PS4, that's just gonna be separate, and then PC. Like how are they gonna do this? And then how the hell are we gonna play people from Japan and Europe and all that stuff with the internet? Like that's just gonna be horrible. That is gonna be horrible.
Yo, so
Like I don't know what Capcom or you know what EVO is gonna do, but they're gonna have to make some major moves for this to work because this is gonna be a circus.
so
and I was gonna say when they said about the community, I had this idea. They were just gonna leave it up to individuals, like how we're doing tournaments. They're gonna be like, all right, Texas, y'all host these tournaments. You know, New York, y'all host these tournaments. California, y'all host these tournaments online, and then get back with us on the results, and then we'll figure out the rest later. Everybody does their own online tournaments to qualify. They said they're gonna reach out to the community, so. I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do. I really don't see how this is supposed to happen. So good luck.
I mean, one thing I want to address real quick in regards to the disrespecting Eunice is like disrespecting the Melty Blood community. Let's be real, Melty Blood community, they real as hell. They'll throw tournaments in a bathroom. Just saying.
Ooh, whoa,
No, I shit you not. You think I'm joking?
Bathroom.
No, dude, dead ass. They have done that.
In the bathroom.
Dude, yeah,
whatever it takes by any means necessary.
Hey, Brian, that's worse than that tournament where they were out in the parking lot with the
Madden tournament.
They went out and checked. Hey, you guys good?
Look,
I'm
it
just
went to a
saying.
Holiday Inn. Went to a Holiday Inn.
Look, I'm just saying.
They had to kick them out of the parking lot. They went to a Holiday Inn to end it. They were gonna get that $10,000.
Look,
they gonna get that $10,000.
Look, all I gotta
say, these weren't the most upstanding citizens of society either. So they were gonna get that $10,000.
I mean,
yeah.
All I gotta say real quick is what's it called? So I think EVO should reach out to the Melty Blood community because if anything, those guys will know how to get it done. They'll get done one way or the other. But
they'll make a way.
You know, shout out to those to the anime fighting game community. Love you guys. What's it called? But I don't think they're gonna lose credibility, honestly. Like Kix also said in the chat. I mean, they're just trying to make the best of a situation, do what they can. Honestly, it's gonna take a lot of, I guess, rounding up and figuring out exactly how they are gonna do, because it does definitely throw a wrench in a lot of people's plans in terms of how they're gonna compete for EVO with everything not being cross-platform. Unless this is what finally starts the crusade of, hey, get onto that crossplay working, and Street Fighter, release that netcode patch already. The dude already fixed it. All you had to do was copy paste.
Yeah, I didn't understand that one. He literally fixed it, and they were like, "Yeah, They basically made a baby version of what he did, and then messed that up. It's like, really? It's like, wow.
I'm salty that he said it only took him like 2 hours or some shit.
Yeah. It little to no time. One man army versus a whole company or a whole group of people that are in charge of the netcode.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Damn.
Okay, I want to get into this about
Is
Rage Quit gonna sponsor EVO this year? I just want to know. I just want to know starting out. Because I'm going to make some points. You say it's going to lose credibility. We have League of Legends has canceled their big event. Dota has canceled their big event. Fortnite has canceled their big event. And you're telling me EVO is going to go like, nope, we're going to go ahead and handle this. We got it, fellas. With all of the negativity within the FGC, we are going to go ahead and do this. With no big events in gaming going on this summer, EVO is going to go ahead and jump in there with all of the media in gaming now and do this. Imagine that if this goes wrong, they will lose credibility. I totally disagree with that because all of the other events know that we are in a different world with social media and it's instant reaction and trolling is an industry now. I do not understand this.
I do confirm.
Not. Just like Chris said, the best point possible. How in the heck are you going to do Marvel vs. Capcom 2 online? How? I feel this was a reactionary type of decision. We can't cancel EVO. Oh, dear God. Every other community and other genre has canceled their big Super Bowl, and they've gone on. It's better to fold them and walk away than to start a firestorm because this has the potential to be worse than it could be better. Just kind of like what Brian said. This can only go so well because even if it does go well, once you give people the ability to not be seen and complain, they're going to complain. They're going to take that option. And I don't know how you're going to have Europe, Asia, like Chris said, South America, all of the United States, all of these countries and all these continents, and they're going to work out. Because remember, EVO gets over 15,000 people. 15,000 people. And then on top of that, how do you deal with lag, all of that, no Wi-Fi, all of that, and people wanting refunds if they feel that the internet was not spectacular? Because that's going to happen. That happens at locals. That happens at different things. So I don't know how they're going to be able to pull this off. Not trying to be negative. I'm trying to look at it from a business and from a brand perspective also, because you have to look at it from that. We all want to play games. We all want to do what we want to do. But this is a situation that none of us have control over as far as the pandemic. And I feel that this is just a very reactionary decision. And you're just going to have people who are going to start saying, oh, man, EVO's not that good and doing all of this and it needs to be canceled and starting hashtags and all that, because I know personally we've all dealt with that. So imagine on the level of an EVO what could happen. Just imagine.
Yeah.
You know, and I just don't know, you know, what this decision was, because I thought they were just going to cancel. And when I saw online, I mean, I almost jumped off my balcony. I don't know about y'all.
Oh, shit.
I just shook my head. I just shook my head. I'm like, really? How, online? How is this supposed to happen?
On that same tip, though, we had a question from Octavian. He says, do you believe this virus will make more online tourneys a focus in the future, and do you think this will cause game developers to take netcode more seriously?
They have to, because they're not going to allow this to happen again. They're going to have to, because they have to take it more serious. But right now, the way netcode is, this happens to be a firestorm. You're telling me Fortnite didn't want to do it, the online tournament? There's a reason why. And they give away $3 million at their big major. And they canceled theirs? So I'm not trying to say that we should follow everybody, but these other big communities are like, nah, it's too much to lose trying to do it online. Check. I just want to say this last one, is that imagine you have IGN, GameSpot, ESPN Esports, the Daily Dot. If you have nothing else going on, they're going to be looking at EVO and be like, how do they pull this off? If it doesn't get pulled off, it's going to go viral. They're going to be like, the FGC, there they go. I'm sorry.
Check this out. Because if they go ahead and move forward with this online tournament, right? You know, and all the different companies are going to have to, you know, step in and you know, do what they need to do to get it done.
Right.
That means every game and every game company are going to have to put their net code on the line.
There you go. Too much brand risk.
That's like your pride there.
Yeah.
And you know, Street Fighter 5.
Yep.
They probably gonna lose that.
Oh, Sam Show.
They're gonna have to do an update because they're not gonna want to be
Sam Show.
Yeah.
I know Evan knows.
I mean,
they're not gonna want to be on ESPN or whoever's broadcasting it, and be like, oh, okay, they're starting Street Fighter 5. Okay, online. Okay,
because you got to remember
this
too, Chris.
connection.
Imagine the restreams this year. There's going to be no online tournaments. The restreams this year will be incredible. Since it's going to be online, there's going to be plenty of restreams.
Because check this out. See, game companies want people to play their game locally. Because once you broadcast locally, then there's no issues. You get to see the game, get to see the excitement, get to see the people, the players.
Yeah.
There's no problem. That's great advertising. But once you have to do it online, that's a different story. Because now you're advertising. If you're online, it's worth a damn. So then, if it's not worth anything, that's going to make your game look bad.
And remember, what tournament in the FGC gets the most casual love? EVO. It is the one tournament that people come in to see Sonic Fox, Daigo, Takedo, all of these different ones. And then you're going to put this all on the line? You're going to put this all online. We have no sports. Remember that. We have no sports. So this will be going on with no sports. So the viewership will be very high since all of the rest of the tournaments have canceled their big major this year. So like Chris said, I just don't know. I don't know what kind of, I don't know if they're bringing in the U.S. Army. I don't know if they're bringing the Navy SEALs to run this because they need something to make this happen.
Go ahead if you're in the chat, share this with the company of the game that you play.
Everything.
If your net code is trash, share this please, because what I'm about to say.
We're true. Okay. Uh-oh.
So your net code is now going to be on blast.
Yes.
More than it was before.
And if you're forced to be at this EVO online tournament, it could ruin your game.
Yep.
It could ruin your game.
Yep.
So I would get on the horn with whoever's in charge of the internet, the patching, fire them, get a whole new team. But if whatever game has trash internet, you need to do an update quick before this tournament happens. You need to do a real update to your net code quick. Have another beta. I don't care if your game been out for 8 years. You need to have another online beta to test the net code and then redo it. Because if you go to this tournament, if you're like, oh, EVO, we're ready to put our game for your tournament, and you didn't do anything to the net code, you're done. You're done. That's all I have to say.
I mean,
jeez.
I totally agree with you, Chris. This is going to be the epic test.
Yeah.
The epic test.
oh, yeah.
With nobody having nothing to do. Remember, nothing. There's nothing going on. And then EVO says, I'll be the first. This has a chance to be something that will be memorable in a negative way for years if they do not do this the right way. Because they better be working on it right now. I'll tell you that. Everybody better be working on it. Night and day until July.
Who's the dude talking about? If what dies?
Online probably. Actually, there's a question I saw. I think Sony Brash actually asked a little while ago. It's like, is there a unified fighting game brand like other games?
No.
Wait, what?
Just like Brian said. Yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah, there really isn't.
No, that word don't exist in the FGC.
Yeah.
Unified? Can you explain that, Evan?
No.
Can you tell Sonny Brash to explain that word?
Yeah,
I don't speak Espanol.
Please explain that one.
I don't speak Espanol.
Oh my God, these guys.
Ooh, no.
Yeah, no, it's the truth.
So,
you disagree, Evan? You disagree?
I don't disagree. I don't disagree, but I'd like to.
Don't get him started.
But I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure. It would be I mean, I haven't been in the FGC long enough, but I feel like there's always.
That's something they've not thought about. There will be people that will ask for refunds. Me and Chris talk about this.
Oh yeah, how much is this gonna cost? Because you can't charge $70-something for no trash online tournament. I don't care who you are. Like I said, share this video. I'm gonna say it again. Share whatever fighting game you play. Tag this video, this stream to that company, and clip it. I don't care if you have to clip this. If your net code is trash, don't have your game at EVO. Yeah. Do not have your game at EVO. I'm sorry.
Back out.
Oh, okay.
Back out before it's too
Just
late.
stop.
So
Back
what?
out. Listen to Chris.
So
Back
Sony
out.
Brash says, he says, I
Okay.
guess what I'm trying to say is they're losing viewers by not having Evo unlike League of Legends or Dota because
No,
they don't lose it because it's only like there's like one brand and one game like to each thing instead of like Evo, which is like a bunch of different games as opposed to
But
like
EVO is the Super Bowl. It is the one event that if you name it, even my best friend does not play fighting games. He even knows that EVO is something to be respected. See, that's the thing about it. EVO has been around for over 20 years, and people know when you go to EVO that there's something on the line. There is really something on the line, and you cannot risk losing that kind of brand, credibility that they have gotten over the years.
yeah
You cannot risk that because
Yeah.
now everybody knows that if you have one bad event, they only remember that. They don't remember years past.
Yeah.
They only remember what's
Mhm.
current. And like Sony Brash,
Yeah,
you gotta understand that the FGC Evo is all we have from
Yeah.
a casual perspective. We're
Yeah,
inside
Evo-
the FGC. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Chris.
EVO is the all-star game of fighting games and players. It's everybody in the world
Yes.
who plays fighting games to come to one spot
Yes.
locally
Who's the
to
best?
play their favorite
world.
game to see who's the best in the world.
Yep.
No one else has that. I'm sorry,
Nobody.
no one else
Nope.
has that.
Nope.
So that's what it is. And if that goes away, well, have fun at your locals. Sorry.
Exactly.
Have fun with that. I mean, nothing against locals, but locals aren't as big as Evo. Yeah, they're
They're not
great
even close.
and they're
Not
up
even on
there.
the same level.
They have great quality. I'm not knocking any local. All the top local tournaments that go on either weekly, monthly, or even yearly. But Evo is the all-star game to test your skill level in whatever fighting game that is at Evo, whether it's main stage or off stage, because I know there's some issues with that, main stage or off stage tournament, to test your skills against the best in the world from who shows up. So there you go.
well
I totally agree with that. And you got to remember this too. I don't know if y'all thought about this. Like last year, I was there. ESPN Esports was there. Twitter was there. Not Twitter Gaming. Twitter was there. You had Arby's there. You have big brands that go to EVO. They are lining themselves with a lot of companies that are really known outside of gaming, and you can't miss that. Just like Chris said, have fun at your locals because they don't sit there and let you have a mulligan no more. They don't allow you to just sit there and mess up, and be like, oh, we'll be back in 2021. That's not how it goes no more. And you have to really take that into consideration and not just look at the angry tweeter who's just mad because he can't play his games and all of that. You got to look at it from a business perspective. You have
and I don't think Evo's in trouble. I mean, they're like the biggest event of each year.
No, they're not in trouble.
And
That's
literally every other tournament, right? Every other tournament has canceled.
Yes, of all the other big ones have canceled. Inside the FGC, outside the FGC.
And see, the thing people aren't thinking about, they canceled, but they didn't do anything online. They canceled. They were like, well, can't do it in person. Not going to do it online. Evo was like, can't do it in person, but we're going to try something online. I don't know what, but they're going to try. Because, I mean, I give it to them. Yeah, they do. They are in that position where they need to try something because they are the biggest event in the FGC. So, yeah, they need to technically they do need to set the lead and see, if they can figure it out. Because right now it's just onesies and twosies doing tournaments here and there. But there's no league. There's no like pro tour of any game right now. So if there's no Evo, then it's just like, well, we're just going to wait until we can play in person again. But see, people are anxious to try to get back to that. No one knows when that ends. That could be 12 months from now. That could be 18 months from now. That could be even longer. There is no cure, a definitive one cure for this pandemic right now. A lot of people are getting misinformation. It's like, oh, it's not a big deal, or they just don't know what's going on. But this stuff is serious. And hey, you want to get out there and go catch it and either die from it or have one of your loved ones get sick from it, hey, well, that's on you. You have to live with that with the rest of your life. So, but like I said, Evo's gotta set the lead, set the standard, and try it.
Hey.
I mean, You know.
Hey, real
So
quick, Jonas Brasco, thank you for that follow. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you,
Appreciate
thank
you.
you.
thank
very
you,
much for the
thank
love,
you,
my dude.
thank you.
I disagree with everything Chris said, you know, and they do. But the thing about it is, they're going to have to bring in people from outside the FGC, outside of gaming, to make this work because of what EVO means to people. You know,
Mhm.
they are supposed to be the standard bearer in the FGC in fighting games, so they have to live up to that.
Yeah.
They can't just be like, "Ah, we did the best we can." People
Well,
are gonna be like, "Evo has to do a spectacular job," because I know people just who complain about Evo just because. So imagine it being online, because I think Evo's a fantastic event. So with it being online, they're gonna have to even raise the bar even more.
Yeah,
I know like Tempest is kind of saying, he's saying that like basically like Evo is a big, what I'm gathering from what he's saying is like Evo is a big event, but it's not necessarily the only big event in town, right? Because we have, he's saying that like,
no,
things like CEO and Combo Breaker are kind of
But they cancel.
getting their legs
Mhm.
under them, and I think like maybe that says a lot for like, events that like canceled and decided that, hey man, we're not going to hedge our bets on whether or not online works out or not,
Exactly.
because it's like, I mean, let's face it, even if Evo like as an event doesn't do so well because of the online, because of like the net code and stuff, because I mean, in order for the net code to be up to par where it would be acceptable for everybody, and I mean everybody, they would have had to have been working on it this entire time. In my opinion, like you would have had to have been working on it for a hot minute.
But once they made that decision, Evan, they should have been working on it because they came
yeah,
out with it today. So they should have been working on this because they had to make the decision. I'm guessing over a month ago. Would y'all agree? They had to. This couldn't have been this
probably longer than that.
right since the pandemic came out. They
Right.
probably have already made the decision. So they should have already been working on the netcode and making sure this is as flawless as possible. Because I
Mm.
guarantee you, if Fortnite or League of Legends made this, oh, they would have had it on point. I have no doubt if they were
Yeah.
doing an online event that was going to be, like Worlds or Dota or whatever,
Mm.
it's gonna be on point. They're not going to
Right.
risk it being a bad
and
experience.
and I think you saying that's in and kind of important in the fact that like Evo in which is like a bunch of different fighting games as opposed to like a thing when you were like, let's say you wanted to have like a Rainbow Six or League of Legends or Fortnite or any other game. Like it's a game like any other tournament would be focused almost wholly on that one game.
But
So
their netcode is still good. They only have one game, but their netcode is
yeah,
going to be spectacular.
Exactly. So now, like, trying to have an event like Evo, where now you have to basically vouch for the netcode of every single game that's going to be at your event, and that's going to be tough.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
That's going to be tough.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
That's gonna be
'Cause
tough.
some of them games, netcode is sus.
Yeah.
I wish
Or
them
more
luck
than
on that
fun.
endeavor.
Yeah, because I don't know
But,
what they're gonna do for Sam Show. Me and Evan talk about this.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're gonna do because playing online just 1v1 is tough. So I don't know what Sam Show's gonna do. Because that right there, they might just go ahead and put a statement out and say, "We'll see you next year."
Yep.
Yeah.
They might, because this I don't know. This has a chance because all the big companies are going to be looking at this. All the big gaming, media companies and everything.
Yeah.
So they really have a lot of pressure with this, because there's going to be a lot of people who are going to troll and try to, take advantage of this. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
Because like Chris said, this is done on a local level. This is a world level.
Yeah.
People get back on a local level.
Yeah.
I agree with what Octavian just said. What he says is if this goes bad, Evo could possibly face game developers not wanting them to represent / have their games at the tournaments in the
Exactly.
future. One thing that I can also say to that, what's it called? While I do agree with that, in the end, they kind of fucked up their own netcode, and that's something they should have had in mind.
But they never thought about this.
Mm.
They never thought it was going to be a pandemic or anything. That's the one thing that you have to listen to.
That's why they really need to take that shit seriously, honestly. It honestly should be something that should be taken seriously, not just the core,
Yeah.
Just the core game, but also the net play, which is where people are going to be playing when they're not going to tournaments, stuff like that, or, training with friends and shit when they can't, meet up in person. That's something that should always be taken seriously. But
Yeah, because you got to realize it, like me and Chris talked about, is that this is bigger than just the game. It's a business. Evo's bigger than just being a local or a regional. This is a worldwide event, so everything they do, it has to be done on a bigger level business-wise. You have to look at it from different
I got a
perspectives.
side point.
Yeah.
That'll knock everything out of the ballpark because you already know. So with both sides of people not wanting things to be canceled or wanting things to be canceled or no online or online, the best thing to do to help every TO and every company that has events. I mean, you could have just gave them your money and be like, hold it until next year. But a lot of people aren't doing that. And yeah, I know there's other companies. I think it was like CEO. A lot of people, let them keep the money, or Texas Showdown. A lot of people let them keep their money. But a lot of people were trying to get those refunds.
Yeah.
So it's like if you want them to be a thing for next year, give them your money. But not a lot of people are doing that. They're just complaining, or they're not really supporting it. So it's just like, it's a give and take. It's a give and take because you want TOs to do stuff like this, but that stuff costs money. Nothing is free. It just doesn't out of the thin air, cotton candy, poof, here you go. It takes money, it takes resources, and it takes support.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to support, if you want to complain, then support them so we can have these events next year. Because if not, I'm sorry, but there's going to be a lot of companies struggling next year because they couldn't have anything this year, and they didn't get enough support to cover them for their losses this year to have an event next year. I think we're going to see some places like not around, or at least it's going to take them a while to come back.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that, Chris. That's going to happen. That you have to have money, and that's something that a lot of people don't understand. It takes a tremendous amount of money to put on EVO, and that you have to support. And he's right. People won't sit there and let them hold their money to 2021. They're not going to do that, because if they do that, they're going to expect the world and more. They're going to expect Venus, Mars, Pluto. They're going to expect the whole universe next year if you hold their money, because we know how FGC people are and how demanding they are. When it comes to giving money and what they expect from that. But I mean, it's just going to be a thing where they only have so much they can do if people aren't willing to support financially. Not with your mouth, not with your tweets, but with your money, because these events are not run on love.
Yeah. I actually want to address a couple messages in chat real quick. Number one,
sure.
Jonas Brasco said, I do know that Guilty Gear Strive lobby is not going to fly in a tournament setting. And 100%, I 100% agree with that. There is, truer words have never been spoken. Okay, that is 100. I think that is a 110% true statement. We just got done talking 30 minutes ago about how not great the lobby system in that. They're gonna have to get rid of that. Second, oh, go ahead.
Honestly, I'll pay those pallbearers to carry that casket for Guilty Gear.
Ooh. If you made a meme on that with the picture of the lobby, I'll fall out.
But
hey, I gotta deliver now. Don't you worry.
All right.
Yeah, but like he said, Tempest says Strive ain't coming out for a year. But even if it were to come out now, if it were ready to come out right now, I still wouldn't have anything to do with that lobby system. It's just I would say no even then. I'm just like, nah, man, I'm good. It's not. It doesn't even aesthetically. It doesn't look good to me. It just doesn't. It doesn't even look good to me. So I would be like, nah. Maybe the game, everything else, okay, fine. Whatever. If they were to shape up everything else, there's no way you could shape up that lobby system to make it look good to me. To me.
Hey, it was like I told you, Evan. They gave that intern, that college intern. They're like, hey, we need to get this beta out. Hey, make this lobby real quick. Hey, that's what that intern came up with. So
we needed somebody to make an indie game real quick that we can use for a lobby.
That college intern just put his internship on the line. he might not have gotten it. So hey, at least the beta came out.
Yeah, I can agree with Tempest on what he said next. It's a moot point. It's not ready, so it could all change by then. Which honestly, that's all we can hope for. Is that
that's what we're hoping for.
Because because currently as is right now, it's not acceptable
Oh,
from the
The
sounds
Grand
of
Blue
it.
versus
and
lobby is different from the beta. Yeah, but not that much. Not by that much. It's not like a
Whoa,
huge,
what?
huge difference. But between, it's not
What?
that big of a difference. It's
Yeah.
really.
Oh, and I heard, because from some insiders, from Anime Illuminati, because he kind of knows some of those guys that work on the game. It's rumored the lobby gonna stay as is. It's rumored. It's rumored.
You said it's
Wow.
rumored that they're going to keep
From
it
the-
that way.
Originally, that was the original statement that, oh yeah, the lobby was meant to be like that. But with the feedback, hopefully they got enough negative feedback on the lobby that they might rethink it. But the original
Yeah.
statement was, oh, that's how the lobby is supposed to be. So take that with a grain of salt. So yeah.
I said, all we can do is hope at this point. Honestly, I hope that they do rectify it. They get fixes. I love Guilty Gear. Guilty Gear was honestly one of the very few fighting games I remember actively playing as a kid, trying to get good at. Played Soul and whatnot, but I mean, honestly, what I'd like to see come back, rival schools. That's all
Oh
I'm
yeah.
gonna say.
Ain't happening, bro.
Yeah, that would
Yo,
be
Ain't
cool.
happening, bro.
I can dream. I can dream.
You're gonna be dreaming for eternity. 'Cause
Hey, that's
right
fine.
now, Capcom holds those
okay.
keys. Capcom is bro. I ain't gonna even get into it.
Based on that
Don't-
statement, though,
Don't worry, man.
Tempest said a little earlier that they would probably make the event smaller by cutting some games. So remember we're talking about like Sam Show and stuff like that. Games like Sam Show, like he's saying, Sam Show might get cut. Like that might not even show up. Like games that with like a lot smaller communities
I hate
might
to
not
say
even
it,
show
I
up.
love Samsung, but I'd be fine with that because hey, they're already on their deathbed.
If they have to cut it, they're gonna have to cut like 3 to 4 games.
Yeah,
So
he's right.
Marvel ain't going nowhere. Street Fighter 5 ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
DBZ Fighters, they got a chance to stay. I can't speak for anything else. I mean, Grand Blue, they got a chance too. So I don't know. They might not. That'll really upset some people.
Oh yeah, you really want to see people be mad? Because they love.
Hey,
Samsung in
you know
Japan.
what? Let's
They
just
love
go
Samsung
ahead
in
and
Japan.
everybody say what games. Let's just say they cut it down to 4.
Hey chat. Yeah.
Let's just everybody say your 4 games. I'm gonna already say my 4. Grand Blue, Marvel, Street Fighter 5, and Fighters. Those are my 4. They're not going nowhere.
I don't think. I
Wait,
can
you
do
said
that
Marvel. You said Marvel,
Line.
Street Fighter,
Yes.
Dragon Ball Fighter Z, and what?
Yep.
Hey.
And Grand Blue.
And Grand Blue. You think those are
my
the
4.
ones?
They cut it- Yep. Sorry. Yep. Hey. He made the statement. Hey, if that's a rumor, if they talking about cutting some games, hey, they're gonna have to. It's gonna at least be four games left, minimal. So,
Oh, if they cut games.
that's cutting it. Hey, that's an even number. Hey, they might do 5 games, but yeah, you said they got to cut games. So hey, there's my 4.
If they cut games, I'm telling you.
All right, and I'll do a 5. I'll do a 5. So Grand Blue, Marvel, Street Fighter 5, DBZ, Tekken 7.
Oh,
Those are my 5.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Why you put Tekken 7 last?
No, it's not in any particular order.
No, it isn't a particular order. It's the order that you thought it was. It isn't a particular order.
I'm telling you.
Tekken 7 can be first.
If they do that, if they do that,
Holy
they're the biggest bonfire in the
This dude
world.
worried about the order.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's worried about
This guy, right?
Because if they were in top 4, this would be my 4. All right, but they're the top 5. We got this one at the end. Yo.
This guy right here trying to start something. Hey, what's the chat saying? What are their 5?
I'm telling you.
Brian, you up?
No.
What are your
Hey,
games?
Listen, man. If they cut those games, FGC is going to have a massive funeral. If they cut those games from EVO, because
Either way, them Africans are showing up. Them guys are showing up with that casket. So you better hope your game doesn't get cut.
Hey,
You better hope your game doesn't get cut.
listen. If they cut games, that will be the biggest joke in the world. I'm saying it right now. If they do that, because Japan loves Sam Show. They love that game. If they cancel that game, now you got Japan, man. If they cancel Tekken, you got the whole world, man. If you cancel Street Fighter, you got all of Asia and all of America, man. So they got to go with it. Hey, if you're gonna go ahead and do an online tournament, you got to go with all of them. Bring in whatever you need. You got to bring in CRTs. You got to bring in super guns. You got to bring in whatever to make it happen. You got to do it because once you went online, you got to go with the whole game plan. You got to go with everything. So that's the way I feel about it, Chris.
Because this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna get Mr. Wizard and Mike Ross on camera. They're gonna be like, okay, we're gonna have to cut some games, and these are the announcements. Mike Ross gonna be over there like, yeah, I'll let you go first. I'll let you go first.
He gonna let
first game to get cut, or no, they're not gonna even do it. They're not gonna even do it like that. First game to make it for the final EVO list. Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Second game, Tekken 7. Fourth game, Street Fighter 5. Or third game, Street Fighter 5. Fourth, Dragon Ball Fighters. Final game, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. Have a nice day.
Less than 5 minutes.
That's all they gonna say.
5 minutes. You're right.
That's all they gonna say.
Yep.
Okay, so in chat we got a couple of what's called. First off, Sony Braston said Marvel vs. Capcom and Grand Blue Versus instead of Tekken. That's first off. Tempest, it says Street Fighter 5, Tekken 7, Grand Blue Versus, and Dragon Ball Fighter Z most likely. Jonas Brasco says Tekken 7, Street Fighter 5, Grand Blue Versus, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate if they make everyone use LAN adapters on their Switch.
Good luck with that. They're discontinued.
Wait, what?
Wow.
Really?
What? They discontinued that? What?
Last I heard, they were discontinued unless you go with, one of those green wave ones, one of the operant ones like I
you can get third party. Yeah, you can order Amazon.
If they don't have Smash at EVO,
Smash is
Melee
definitely they're not
last year. So imagine if they don't have Smash Ultimate at EVO.
It would be pretty.
Real
pretty
talk.
bad.
Seriously, Smash is not going anywhere. Smash is not going anywhere.
Yeah, because remember, even when they were gearing up, like they still had Melee, and people were pissed off when Melee didn't show up. That like the first time Melee didn't show up, people were pissed. People were pissed. If Ultimate didn't show up, people will be super pissed.
Yeah, it would be the end of the world. It would be end of the world. You thought coronavirus was tough.
Yeah,
you thought coronavirus was tough. Wait till you see a gang of Smash Ultimate players. Wait till you see a gang of Smash players.
There's so many
breaking
jokes
news
I
on
can make
CNN.
right now. There's so many jokes I can make right now.
Yeah, I know. Hey, listen, Brian knows. Hey, if you want to see breaking news, have some Smash players. It'll be on CNN, NBC, ABC. I'm letting you know right now if they don't have Smash Ultimate at EVO.
I can hear the screeching already.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so Sony knows where I was going with it.
Oh my god. Talk about not being able to breathe.
Oh man.
Oh, this guy. That's terrible. All right.
What just happened?
Oh my god.
What happened?
Just the classic stereotypical Smash jokes.
Oh my god.
Which, disclaimer to anybody who does play Smash, we still love you. I play Smash. Don't worry.
Oh my
I'm
god.
just letting you know, those are some ruthless dudes.
Yeah, it would definitely divide the FGC and the Smash community more. You see, that's one of the only issues I have with the Smash community is just how divided it is, honestly. Love them, but they really need to unify together.
Yeah. Just like
get
the
some
FGC.
Right. Exactly. And this has a chance to put a real long-term divide with the FGC. Because EVO, the one event that most people come together and are civilized and, really, really have a good time and, overall.
Yeah.
And you can't have this. You just can't have this if you're the FGC. Because EVO is the one event that we all gear up for. Most people. We all gear up for EVO. We all, make sure we know what weekend that is. And it being online, oh boy. I just don't know. Because like I said, all the gaming companies that are going to cover EVO this year. There's going to be a lot of gaming.
See, we're going to be outmatched. Like if they try to do it, us versus, Asia, they have the better internet. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Newsflash.
No,
They got way better internet than us.
Exactly.
So if they do it like that, we might be screwed. So I don't know. They'll have a better advantage as far as connections and ping and all that crap. But I just don't see how they're gonna decide to really get this done. Like, how would you do something?
Yeah, I would love to have a little bit more transparency with this, to be honest.
Yeah.
As far as how they are going to pull this off. Because if you're transparent with it, people will be a little bit more forgiving than just saying, oh, we're going to do an online tournament.
Yeah.
And not have no details or more about it.
Because you have to address the issues.
Yes. There is elephant in the room.
Yeah.
There's an elephant in the room. You cannot
multiple elephants.
Yeah,
multiple elephants. Not just one. Multiple elephants in the room.
There's a whole couch full. There's a whole room full. There's a whole room full of elephants, So I mean, they really need to be transparent about this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Because it's because already a lot of locals and everything, they restrict the states that do it. Because of the ping, like you said, Chris. They already restrict certain states because they know that if they have certain states, it's going to be laggy. So how is EVO going to address that?
Right.
Because there is no local that I know of that does it online that allows the whole United States to do it. They either do it.
Yeah, that's something to think about. Yeah.
East Coast or whatever.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of situations here, and they better do a trial run. Please, God, let them do a trial run somehow. They better do a trial run.
Ooh, they better do a beta tournament. A beta tournament.
A whole beta tournament, yeah.
On top of the beta, net code.
They need a trial run.
Yeah, man.
They need a trial run. And they better let Alex Valle and his crew do this.
Oh, they're going to need their help.
They need their help.
They're going to need Uncle Valle's help.
They're going to need
Uncle
Valle's help.
All them.
Team Spooky,
yep.
They better bring in
NLBC.
NLBC.
Old boy at NLBC.
Tuesday night fights in Japan. They need all of that to come through. They need all of that because that is something that needs to be on the way. This ain't the time to be prideful.
Yeah,
this ain't the time to be prideful.
They really
is not the time.
They need to bring in whoever is the best at running tournaments.
Yeah, it's going to have to be
all
well organized.
All hands on deck to get this pulled off.
Dude. It's gonna take it's gonna take a village, man.
Big E Gaming out of Philadelphia, your boys, Evan. They need to get them. They need to get Rick from Combo Breaker on hand. They need to get CEO.
They're gonna have to.
It's funny you mentioned Big E because like our boy Tempest is actually he actually knows Big E pretty well, I think.
Oh, they need to get him on board. I trust him because I've seen his events. They're run smoothly. They need to get all those guys on board. It doesn't need to be any kind of divide or I don't know them or I don't like them. It needs to be all of the FGC's elite and best run TOs running EVO this year because, this is for all of us, basically.
Yeah. They might need you. They might need you, Tempest. They might.
All jokes aside, seriously. It needs to be.
Hey.
All hands on deck from the FGC around the world to pull this off because our tournament needs this to go well. Let's be honest. Everybody in the FGC needs EVO to go well for there to be a next year. Let's be honest. For there to be a next year, we need this to go well.
I mean, I'd like to say this. It's like we need everybody to pull together to make EVO go well. Yes. But like I said, if it doesn't go well, I hate to put it like this. It's like I think the FGC in general will be fine. EVO might not be so fine. But it's like EVO might not be fine. But I think the FGC in general will be okay because like Tempest was saying earlier, we have like we have other tournaments that are coming up in the prestige. You know what I mean? That are coming up in the like.
But a quick question to you, Evan, with that. EVO is the tournament that gets the most casuals to come be part of the FGC. That is the tournament that people are open to learn the most about the FGC. And also the streams from EVO are millions. Yeah. There is no other tournament in the FGC that gets the streams that EVO gets.
Yeah, right now, that's correct. But that doesn't that could change. That could change. Like, if things go well, then they'll continue to get millions. But if it doesn't go well and things like, And
So,
think,
so question to you then: what tournament could fill that void that Evo has built up over 20 years? Remember, Evo has been around over 20 years. They've taken a long time to build that cred. So, what tournament could build that up? I'm talking about from a casual perspective. I know people that don't follow gaming that have asked me, "Hey man, what weekend is Evo? What weekend is it again?" Like they're serious. They don't care about fighting games, but when it comes to Evo, I know people that personally hit me up and say that because they want to see Evo. They want to see who is the best in the world.
yeah,
I'm just being honest.
See, people.
They
See
love
let me interject. See,
okay.
people. They're trying to throw in all these other tournaments and stuff, and that's
Thank you,
great that
Chris.
they're
Go ahead.
moving up.
Yep. Go ahead, Chris.
But see, Evo is on a higher
Yes.
business level. They
Yes.
have ESPN.
Yes.
Like no other tournament was
Disney.
showed on
Disney.
ESPN. Like we all like sports. Like literally, we go to ESPN to watch to get sports news. I mean, they're not the only place, but it's like they're on ESPN. Fighting like video games on ESPN, and yeah, I know there's League, there's Overwatch and League, but we're not talking about them. We're talking about fighting game tournament. Evo's the only one that's been able to cross that threshold. And yeah, other people are coming up, but right now we're in a bad situation. And a lot of other places are canceling. They are canceled.
Not
Evo's the
postponing.
only one
Not
that's like,
postponing.
well,
Mhm.
we're gonna cancel in person, but let's make a play at trying to do online. Is it a great idea? No. Is it the worst idea? No. Because
almost,
what else are we gonna do? What else are we gonna do?
almost.
And Evo, it's kind of like, bro, in your other tournament TOs, they were holding out, bro.
Yeah.
They were like, oh yeah, coronavirus. We're just gonna have hand wipes and sanitizer. Like, bro, get real, bro. Like, these other TOs had that mindset, bro. And Evo is a bigger team. It's not just one
Yeah.
person. It's
Yeah.
a huge
Hundreds of
team. They're like
people.
3, 4, 5 times the size of all these other tournament TOs, and we're not knocking any other tournament. Like they have success, but it's kind of like a football team. It's kind of like the quarterback is deciding if we're going to go to the Super Bowl, but you're like, hey, but the water boy wants to go to the Super Bowl too. We need to listen to him, like
Yeah.
or like a tight end, or a left tackle or a safety. Like, bro, he's not the quarterback.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, he's on the team, but he's not the quarterback. He's not the coach, and that's what Evo is. They're the quarterback. They're the coach of this. So it's like we need to look and see what their lead is on that. If they cancel 100%, then that's the lead. If they do an online portion of their tournament and it's successful, well, whether it's successful or not, that's the lead. Because no one else is doing anything but just canceling. So that's just the way I feel about it.
You said it perfectly. You said it perfectly, Chris. You know.
And again, we're not taking anything from other
No.
TOs. We've been to those places. We've watched those places. We supported them. We all like them.
Yeah.
But they're not on that level. It's not about getting there. It's who is there right now.
Yeah.
And Evo's been that for 20 years. So if there's no Evo, like Brian said, who's going to fill that void right now? So
Because it's one thing to be on the uprise, it's one thing to get there.
right.
We can all talk about tournaments that we know in the past. Me and Chris, we know some tournaments in the past that we're trying to get there and everything.
You want to you want to talk about a tournament TO that's been there that should have been there? Texas Showdown. They've as far as a local, they've been around 20 something years. They should be on the same level as Evo. But are they? Not really.
No.
Not really. It's a great tournament. Don't get me wrong, but to been around that longer than any other place besides Evo. Because how long is CEO and Combo Breaker, how long have they been around?
Less than 10 years.
So it's like, 20 years, 8 years.
You got to remember,
but you got Evo
before there was internet. See, that kind of credibility that they have. They were around before there was internet. So you got to give them that kind of respect that year in and year out, they got it done. Even when the FGC and we know fighting games almost died, Evo still got put on. So we know that Evo can go through a lot of adversity. They can go through changes and all of that. And they
And think
have
about
every year stepped up to the plate and got it done. Because I've heard a lot of negativity about EVO, and I know that certain people don't like the management of EVO and certain like that, but they have put it on year in and year out. And you got to give credit where credit is due.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
here's the thing though. This is just my what you call it. And feel free to disagree. But if you have a situation where you're doing like, let's say you're doing an online tournament, and like first off, there are a bunch of real good players who do not play online at all. There,
Mm-hmm.
I've met like some people. Like I met was it Ralph from California. I say, hey man, you want to play on like give me your PSN so we can play online. I don't play online. I know of a couple other people who don't play online. That's just in like Tekken. That's just in the realm of Tekken. People only really play online unless they like. Can you imagine the fiasco of somebody having to go to be like say, okay, I'm gonna put it on the line at EVO, and then be like, hey man, things didn't work out. The internet was bad. I mean, people aren't going to be like, oh man, like Namco Bandai needs to fix their netcode. No, because the thing is, we knew what the netcode was like before the tournament started, and they knew too. So people aren't going to look at Namco Bandai and be like, oh man, they need to fix their netcode. They're going to look at EVO like, why did you do this in the first place?
EVO. Exactly, Evan.
Yeah.
That's the point. That when you put your name on the line, people are not going to look at it as the four of us are. They're going to look at EVO. That's all they're going to look at is EVO. Why did you put this on? And like Chris said, from a business perspective, EVO can't get all caught up in all the hype of gaming and all that. They got to look at it from a business perspective because they dealt with ESPN and Disney. They are a heavyweight. And if you think ESPN and Disney is going to continue to stick their name with a tournament that if it doesn't go well, they're not. Too much to lose. I'm sorry. EVO has too much to lose doing this, because there are tournaments like League of Legends and Fortnite and their tournaments that get way bigger viewers on Twitch. And they are canceling, not postponing. Remember, they get millions and millions of dollars from their big events, and they are canceling. We're talking about money here. All of that. And they said, nope, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. We're just going to wait to 2021. So I don't know if EVO consulted any other big events or anything on this, or was this just made on an emotional whim? Because the more I think about this, it just does not make sense from a business perspective. Because it is a business first. Make no mistake. It's a business first.
Right. So I got to reiterate because people are not understanding, I guess. Okay, so I'm gonna put this question out. What's the biggest fighting tournament in the world? Everybody comment in the chat.
Yeah.
The biggest. I'm talking about the biggest, the most games, and the biggest number of people that attend and watch. The whole world. I'll give you that. What's the biggest for fighting games? I'll wait.
You're right.
Yeah, well, I don't think anybody's debating the size of
No,
EVO.
because I got a point. Because people are trying to interject. Oh well, this tournament here, this tournament here. I told you already. Texas Showdown has been around for 20-something years. How big are they? How big is Texas Showdown?
Yeah. Not near EVO. Not near.
They've been around for 20 years too.
Yep.
Maybe even around the same time, or like I think it was 5 years. I think EVO had like a 5 to 8 year head start or something like that. 4 to 8 years, something like that.
Right.
So it's like, bro, what's the excuse? What's the excuse? EVO is on. It's kind of like rappers that got a deal versus the rappers that are still underground. But it's like you're hating on the ones that got the deal.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, they've both been around, but one just chose to be underground, or they didn't want to sign a deal, but one has made, 900,000, but the other one's made, 15 million in sales. It's kind of like, is it, you hating, or you don't know how to give like proper respect? It's like, if they're on, they're on. They have the lead right now.
Yep.
You can't deny it. It's not about who's coming up. It's like you haven't made it yet. It's kind of like, oh man, you want to compare, championships in basketball. It's kind of like, here in Texas, the Mavericks, they got that one championship, and they're going to get it next year. Get it next year. Get it next year. Like, bro, I'm not trying to wait for next. Like, who's got it right now? That's just, it's simple. You can't beat. It's kind of like people who hate on Jay-Z. He's the highest paid rapper of all time. And yeah, he has other business ventures, but he's got him and Dr. Dre. Okay, him and Dr. Dre.
Right.
But people like to hate on Jay-Z, bro. He got so much money. You know, he made it already, so he don't have to even make albums anymore. Like, he really doesn't. So EVO, they do it once a year, and everybody around the world goes to this tournament. Not just the people in that state. It's all the Asians.
Yeah.
If Asians don't come to your state or come to your tournament, I'm sorry, you ain't shit. I'm sorry. If the Asians, if Daigo, Taquito, and all them people, Shein and all them don't come to your tournament, I'm sorry, you're not to that level yet. I don't mean to say you're not shit, but you're not to that level yet. I mean, you see that Brian, you've seen that at tournaments where, where are the Asians at? Oh, they went somewhere else.
Yeah, because
so I'm sorry
for them to come. They have to take at least 3 or 4 flights to connect to come. The dedication that it takes to come to an American tournament. Because I've been to EVO. You have camera crews, literal camera crews coming with Taquito, Daigo, Fudo. I've seen camera crews. So imagine the amount of money that they are spending just to come to EVO. Not just to play, eat, do all the other things. Just to attend EVO. So what Chris said is exactly right. Is that they get people to really put a lot of money out just to come. And they document it every year. You know, I've been the last 2 years, had the pleasure of going there. They put a lot of money into coming to EVO because they know at the end of EVO, there's no unquestionable doubt who is the best in the world. And human beings, no matter where in the world they are, they have an affection and an addiction to who is the best. That is what EVO is. Who is the best? And I can tell you, that tournament right there, when I go the last 2 years, I've gotten text messages from lots of people, gamers, people in the FGC outside, about me going. People that don't even follow fighting games is that when you go to EVO, the thing that people say is, ooh, oh man, yeah, that's what's up. There's no negativity when you go to EVO. When you make that trip to go to EVO, no matter where in the world you go, you know you are going to see the best of the best.
And don't get me wrong. And don't get me wrong. Every tournament has its issues. Because I know people gonna be talking about, but trust me, EVO, you don't get better without failure. And trust me, EVO has dropped the ball. Like last year when they didn't have the
reveal,
the last qualifier, you know.
Yeah, the last qualifier. Yeah.
The last qualifier, but. They have so much support and so many different vendors and so many different sponsorships. Like they even have the what are the bags, the streaming backpacks. Like I think maybe only what other tournament has had that? I'm sure there hasn't been another tournament that had that. But I forgot what's the company that does that again? The streaming backpacks. Was it Twitch? Was it Twitch that had the streaming backpacks?
Yeah, I think.
Is that the company that does it?
I know one company, was it a Gun Run, does that for certain. I don't know if that's the company you're thinking of that does like straight up streaming backpacks.
Yeah, it sounds familiar, but I mean, it's like that's crazy that they give those backpacks out to people just to stream random stuff. Like that's just crazy. And then plus all the different vendors and then all the different game companies that show up to show off their new games. And what other companies?
This too. Arby's has a booth at EVO. Arby's. They were literally had a character made out of Arby's boxes. They had Nightmare from Soul Calibur 6 made out of Arby's boxes.
Oh, wow.
That's not going to happen. That's big. If you know business, Arby's is not going to spend all that kind of money to have a booth out at EVO because it's not cheap. And then support Soul Calibur 6 the way they do. They did the last 2 years. Like that brand recognition means a lot. And I don't think a lot of people in the FGC understand that, is when you can tell somebody that's not in the FGC that we had Twitter there. We had Arby's. We had ESPN, like Chris said. You have to understand that drives a lot of money and a lot of sponsorships and eyes to Twitch. That's going to drive a lot of people because people think if Arby's is there, if ESPN is there, Twitter's there, then hey, I need to be there or I need to be watching because those are companies that have a lot of credibility. And companies that have a lot of credibility work with other companies that have a lot of credibility. Because you better believe Twitter, ESPN, and Arby's do their due diligence on EVO. They're not going to have no backlash. You know?
And it's And we're not knocking any other tournaments. You know, EVO has had problems.
Yeah,
Every other tournament has had problems. You might not hear about it, but each tournament has had problems. There's no perfect tournament. I'm sorry, I don't care what you say. I like them all just as much as anybody else. But when you're on the business side of it,
yes,
those are the people that see the actual problem, like problems that go on behind the scenes, not as a spectator or a player. I'm talking about the business side of it. And EVO, they're on right now. They're on. So they're the ones that have it right now. Yeah, there are other companies that are trying to move up and get to that position. We're trying to get to that position.
Yes.
So it's like we understand the business aspect of it. Yeah, and it's like we know that it takes hard work and it takes dedication and it also takes support. And it's just like I don't know. It's just I don't know how else to explain it. But
no, I totally agree with you. And you got to, and the people, you know, I don't know what the chat is saying or whatever, but they have to understand that they have made it. Just like Chris said, they are on. So there is different angles than what, you know, we're trying to do right now. We're nowhere near that level. So their level of dedication and the people that they are indebted to is way bigger than most tournaments. Because really, to be honest, in FGC, besides Combo Breaker and CEO,
special treatment. What special treatment?
What happened?
You talking about some special treatment? What special treatment, bro?
Okay. What happened?
Defending it so hard is because they got it.
The thing.
Do they not know what happened with MLG and all that? Do they not know the history of EVO?
Well,
do I need to see the score esports? Because I don't think he understands what happened to EVO back in the mid 2000s when it almost died because of Street Fighter 3 and Street Fighter 4. Like, you need to do your history.
Well, the thing about it is like, what other tournaments were as big as EVO back then? You know, what other tournaments were really going on?
No, I want to know what the special treatment is.
Because because what I'm saying is, it's like if you have like a really big fiasco, and like let's say, and there's another tournament that people know that like, oh well, you know, this isn't the kind of group to take a risk like that. You know what I mean? Like, well, I'm not saying nobody's saying that EVO isn't big right now. That's nobody's saying that. But what people are saying is that EVO's big right now. They make a mistake that's big enough, then people will be like, hey, you know what? Like, you start questioning their decision making. Which, I mean, if you make a big mistake, like they say, hey, we did a thing online, it didn't work out. People were pissed off. You know, people were pissed off. Not a whole lot of people showed up, and even the people that showed up were disappointed because like it wasn't ran correctly or the internet wasn't great because you're just leaving it up to the players and stuff like that. And then like people say, hey, you know what? I don't know about this. You know, we're questioning your decision making. But there are other tournaments that this year decided, hey, you know what? We're not going to do that. We're going to wait till next year. We're going to pool our resources, pull back, wait till next year, instead of being like, hey, yeah, we're going to hold the thing regardless. I mean, regardless of whether or not it's like either like half, like it can either be, I mean, they could do well, but chances are, what if it's like half-assed? What if it's like a half-assed event that people don't want to pay for, that people, even worse, start sending, hey, give me my money back. I didn't like that. That was garbage. That wasn't worth the wait. You guys went and did your freaking event and it's freaking trash. And then people are like, yeah, man, that sucked. Why would I why would I sponsor you for doing a trash event like that? I'm not saying that they would completely pull their support, but then people start looking at, man, who else is available for me to give my money to? Who else is available for me to show up at their events? Like, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's saying that, EVO is like, done, but we're just saying like, if something happened, if in a completely suboptimal situation, who would be there? Who would be the next in line to take the throne? And there are a couple other people. They might not be 100% ready, but they're getting to that point where they're like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm getting ready to take it. And even like, let's say that they do the thing this year, it doesn't work out, and let's say that maybe it might not be next year, but it might be the year after that. You know what I mean? Like, they might be like, hey, you know what? We've been talking to these guys for the past year, and we think that they're ready for us to start putting our support behind them. So we're going to start pulling some of our support back. And then the scales might be tipped. You never know. I mean, it happens. It's definitely not unheard of. It's definitely not unheard of. Like, people have switched sides for less.
So what did I miss in the 2 seconds that I went to the restroom?
Oh, we were just talking about, the basically how Evo is a business, and you have to look at it from a business side first, and that they have a lot to lose with doing.
What the hell?
What's up?
Team Ninja. I'm done. I'm done. I'm sorry. But anyway, so
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah, that could happen with any company, with any group, I mean, that's all, that's respectable. And it's just kind of like,
But the thing about it is, look, kind of like you said, is that Evo has been there, and people like consistency. Now there are a couple out there that could, maybe take the throne or something. But there's one thing about Evo that Evo has over everybody, every other tournament. 2 words: Las Vegas. Does any other tournament have that?
Oh,
Las
yeah,
Vegas.
Yeah, that's the yeah.
And there's another thing that nobody has brought up about Evo. It is in a welcome, non-racist environment.
Yeah. I already know what you talked about there.
Yes. We all have to understand that Evo has every culture, every nationality coming to it. I met people last year that were from Australia, Nigeria, from the Philippines, from Japan, from Brazil, from Canada. They have the perfect setup being in Las Vegas. And Las Vegas is a city that people want to go to. Period.
Oh, okay, but on that note though, on that, but at the same time, I mean, I'm not trying to take anything away from what you just said, but you know where else you can go and do that is like just about any other any college campus on the East Coast.
No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't.
What?
No, you can't. No, you can't.
Okay, so you, yeah.
East Coast.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that.
I definitely, because all right, I'll tell you, put it this way: Have you ever been to a college campus in New Jersey?
Well, I've never been to the East Coast. I'll be honest. I've never been to the East Coast, but I'm gonna tell you.
I'm gonna tell you 100%.
Okay, go ahead.
People from Nigeria, Australia, Sweden, Germany, all over the world are all up and down, all in like college, just college campuses in the on the East Coast. I'm just saying that what you're saying you can do there. What you're saying that can happen there can happen just as easily on the complete other side of the country.
But let me give you a question then. So, as far as hospitality, how are they going to be able to pull it off like Las Vegas that has events every day, every week, every month of the year? As far as the hospitality level, because that's what Vegas specializes in.
I'm like, I don't know, man. I mean,
because Las Vegas has hospitality on a level that no other city in the world can match.
No other city in the world can match. I don't know about that.
That's why they have. What do they have? They have every single, like when you go to Las Vegas, you can experience all the top places in the world. Las Vegas.
They have all.
No other place has that.
Yeah, they literally do, Evan. They literally have like hotels that are made like New York, made like.
That's it. That's the thing, though. That's the thing, though.
Even the East
made
Coast,
like New York.
East.
But what I'm saying
is.
Go ahead, Chris.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
No, because you've been there.
Okay, so see, the thing is that they have such little fine nuances that are known in cultures, like the Japanese culture, the African culture, like Nigeria, wherever in the world. In Las Vegas, you're not going to have the people who work the hotels, work the events, everywhere you go. Even the security at EVO, they have exceptional level of people skills. They really know how to talk to people no matter where in the world they are from. And that is a skill set that very few cities and very few venues can pull off. That is the thing about it that EVO has. In Las Vegas, they are specialized in knowing how to run massive events on a level very few other cities can do. I'm not saying that it's not diverse on the East Coast. I'm not saying it's not. But to pull off an event the size of EVO, they do events that are 3, 4, 5 times the size of EVO. So they are used to doing it. Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
I'm gonna have to break this down again.
And let me say something else. Let me say something else, Chris.
People, all right, go
Let me say
ahead.
something else. Last year, you were at this event last year, Evan. Defend the North. You were there, correct, Evan?
Yeah.
They had issues, nothing with people, but they even had issues with the air conditioning breaking. Somebody actually, sadly died at Defend the North last year. And that is a city. That's the biggest city in America this happened in. So imagine the kind of backlash they got, because I knew 3 or 4 people that were at Defend the North last year, and that is New York City, which is supposedly
okay. But you're talking about an event that happened in exceptional circumstances. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you can't have that. I hate to say that, but you can't have because it was hot. They said it normally doesn't get that hot in New York, correct?
Yeah, it was pretty freaking hot.
Okay, but this is the thing about that is that EVO in Las Vegas, they cover even the exceptional situations. They got a plan B for that. You always, when you're running an event, tell me if I'm wrong, guys, you always have to have a plan B, C, and D. You
gotta know the facility for one.
You gotta know.
You gotta have people, even if something goes wrong, you still gotta have people on deck to fix the situation.
And let me say this. Me personally, Evan, I know people that, because the guy who passed away was part of the Louisiana FGC. I know people that in Texas and Louisiana who will not go to the East Coast now because of that. Now, is it right? No.
Oh, wow.
But I know people because that was their dear friend, and they're saying to themselves, they don't know all of the details and the things that happened, but they know that somebody died that they knew. They know. That's all they know. And people will not give you a second chance. Sadly, that's the way the world works, And that's the thing about EVO is that Las Vegas has a reputation of being exceptional with dealing with people from all around the world and making, no matter where you come from in the world, comfortable. Go ahead, Chris.
No, I think I got to break it down again because it's not getting through. So I had a question. Does everybody like Six Flags here? Has everybody been to a Six Flags?
Yeah, I've been to Six Flags.
Okay, it's okay. It's cool, right? It's cool.
Yeah.
Who's been to Disney World?
I have.
Yeah.
Oh, I know where you're going.
Hey, you should go. You should go, Brian. You should go.
I've been.
You think Six Flags is nice?
I hope you.
So let me put it to you this way. Even including us, all these other tournament events, they're like Six Flags. Everybody loves Six Flags. It's awesome. It's great. Have a great time. EVO's like Disney World. I'm sorry. Yeah. They on right now. I'm sorry. It's like EVO's Disney World. Everyone else is Six Flags to a certain degree. That's just the way it is, bruh. That's just the way it is.
Let me catch up with chat real quick.
Both are great. Don't get me wrong. Both are great, right? People like going to both, right? But Disney World is Disney World. So
that's
just the way it is.
It's like a bucket list. EVO, it's like a bucket list type of thing. Going to Disney World is like a bucket type of thing.
But hey, Six Flags. But hey, all Six Flags are trying to, get to that next level. Yeah, they're trying to reach Disney World. They get new rides. Yeah. They tear old ones down and build new attractions. They're always getting better, right?
Yeah.
Making progress, right?
Yeah.
But they're not on the level of Disneyland yet, Disney World yet.
Yeah.
So, but they're trying to get there though.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's a level of exceptionalness that certain people just have. Hate to say it, but there's just a certain level that certain people just have a skill set. And that's the truth, because it's like EVO, I know for sure they start getting ready for the next EVO 2 months after the last EVO. Like this is not something that is put together just in 3 or 4 months. Oh, what's going on?
Hey, you just got checked in the chat, Brian. Sorry. Just got checked in the chat.
Okay, what they saying?
But they ain't checking me though. They trying. They trying.
Hey man, it's not. It's not about. It's all good. What you call it? All good and fun.
Oh yeah. No, it's all good. It's all good. No, we good. We good.
But,
it's in the love of the FGC. We just got passion. That's all it is. We just got passion.
What did somebody say? I want to hear it. Well, go ahead.
It's in regards to the death. I also looked into it. Also, the person that passed away at Defend the North event, it was due to a seizure in the bathroom, and a Smash player, Sinai Fong, I think that is how his name is pronounced, found him and got help for him. But,
but how's that being checked?
Well, I don't know what was said earlier.
I want to know.
They said They said that it had nothing to do with the event.
People did. No. Let me break this down. What I am saying is, I know two people that were there. Evan, was it not hot? And they said that the air conditioner broke. Am I wrong in saying that?
I mean, they said it was hot in one of the in one of the rooms, but like it was hot though.
So what? See, this is the problem with FGC. They always want to take it to a next level. You're telling me that it being hot does not cause seizures? Am I wrong?
I mean, but I think what he's saying is it would be different. I think what he's saying is it would be different if he had a seizure in the room. But it's like he's like,
wait. Did he spend the whole time in the bathroom?
I mean, like wherever you have the seizure is where you have the seizure, man.
but that's true. What the point I'm trying to make is everybody does not see things as A plus B equals C. People are going to get half the truth, like Chris said a few topics ago. Everybody's not going to get the full truth and know the full facts of what's going on. All they know is somebody died at Defend the North. You do not want that on your record. That is my whole point.
In general, when a person becomes severely overheated, they risk a higher chance of having a seizure.
Thank you.
This is why it is important to prevent.
Go ahead. Okay. Yeah. WebMD.
But hey,
over here, bro.
Hey. He must have had some shrimp. That's why it happened. He didn't even have any cause of it. AC. Who needs a big old AC unit in the building?
Right.
In the East Coast.
How about that? He
must have had some clams.
Hot in July in New York. It don't get hot in July in New York. It's always 30 degrees. It's always 30
a seizure is just a seizure.
It's just
that's all it is.
Bring it on, Chris.
It's like a sneeze.
It can bring it on. I mean, air conditioner being broken can't do that. It can't do that.
Let me stop. Let me stop.
Oh, I'm about to.
Let me stop.
I'm about to.
Let me stop.
You're right. Thank you,
I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, you don't apologize for that.
This is just the passion of FGC. We're just passionate. We're tired of not being able to go. We're all tired of not being able to go locally. Wherever you want to go locally.
That's right.
Whether it's your home, you play Street Fighter at the library, wherever it is. We just want to go to a tournament.
We're all tired. We all want to play
I'm
games.
sick of that shit.
Well,
They're killing me. Y'all killing me with this shit. Y'all killing me.
Yo, he's doing his R. Kelly impersonation now.
Yeah, he is. That is a good one, Chris. Bravo.
Y'all killing me. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
I can't take this no more.
I'm sorry. I just want to go to a tournament. That's all I want to do, though.
Just around the corner. You're around the corner. I feel you, Chris.
I'm sorry.
All right, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You guys okay now?
Hey, is that person still there, Evan? Hey, is that person still there, Evan? They logged out yet? They still logged out?
Huh?
Hey, like I said, it's just passion, man.
How about it?
And in all seriousness, it's just passion. We want to get back to normal. Everybody wants to get back to normal. Whether it's playing games, going to work, going to the, whatever you were doing before coronavirus, everybody wants to go back to normal. And things, they're getting heated or jokes aside, jokes are happening all over the place.
Right.
Everybody wants to just get back to normal. That's the bottom line. So.
Yep. That's pretty much what we're all hoping for. All right. I think we're over time by a lot. So I think it's about time we shut it down. Thank y'all very much for showing up for the very first episode of the Combat Report. We'll be back next week with another set of topics. Please make sure you tune in. Most importantly, make sure you follow, hit that notification so you get notifications whenever we go live. Thanks to everybody who threw up their questions and comments, discussions in chat. Hopefully you guys will come back with some more stuff next week when we go live again. Of course, make sure you follow us on here. Make sure you hit up Collisions, especially Collisions FGC tomorrow for the Grand Blue Rivals League. Week 4, I think,
yes, sir.
of Grand Blue Rivals League. For those of you who missed it before, we have to re-put up the link for Smash.gg for the sign-ups for anybody who's willing to sign up. Unfortunately, it's for people in Texas, but if you're interested in watching, we'll be doing it tomorrow at 1 o'clock on the Collisions FGC page. Make sure you swing by. If you have any final words from everybody, from the rest of my co-hosts.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the first episode. Looking forward to doing this more, and got all of the things out of our system. I feel better, like a new man over here. I don't know about you guys.
Right. Yeah, I feel a little bit better.
Yeah,
Shit,
yeah.
I feel the same.
Just a little bit.
Yeah,
I feel the same.
yeah.
I mean, shit. I'm looking forward to the next one. Looking into some more topics. Of course, if there's any, what's it called? There's any topics that you guys may be interested in, honestly, feel free to send some suggestions to me via message or during any of my streams. I'll gladly look into it because there's a lot of things I'd like to learn about the FGC. I'm still very new to it, honestly, for the most part. I kind of just dabble in and out, whether it be honestly memes and kind of like going around seeing what's going on in it with the pop-offs or moments and whatnot. But I will definitely take in all considerations. I would highly appreciate that. So from my end, thank you guys very much, honestly.
Yeah, to piggyback off of what Brian said, definitely hit us up on Twitter if you have any suggestions on Twitch, on YouTube, any of our social media. Hit us up if you have any suggestions or that you want us to cover. Because we definitely look forward to doing this because we love covering the FGC.
Yeah, and two legends.
Exactly. Same here with everybody. If you guys got any suggestions on topics that we should cover regarding FGC as a whole, just let us know. I look forward to our next show. Hopefully, sometimes we can throw in some gaming in there while we're chatting. Maybe play some games with some of the viewers and just kind of get a little more interactive on some of our shows. But
that's a great idea, actually. Yeah.
So.
All right. Like I said, I'm really appreciative of everyone who showed up. Like, you guys are great. As you can see on the screen right here, we have all of our Twitter handles: Antique Legend, Crunch Time, No Sleep Adachi, and amazing _MC. That I didn't do it that way. They just did it that way. It's supposed to be MCE Amazing. I don't know why they did it Amazing _MC. Who the hell knows? But anyway, like that was the one they gave me. Want some background stuff, I can help you out and point you to people. Hey, we appreciate that.
I would definitely.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, definitely, man.
And get with you after we can get with you after stream and talk about that. Thanks a lot, Tempest, our boy Tempest. He's pretty established in the FGC, so it's good to get help.
Appreciate it.
Good to have friends in high places.
Yes, sir.
But guys, this is pretty much the end of our show. Thank y'all very much. As I always like to say, love, peace, and hair grease. Have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Yes, sir.
Whenever you happen to be watching this, and we will see you guys next time. See you then.
All right.
Doing this weekly.
Peace.
Also.
Wait, are we doing this weekly? Yes, we are doing this weekly. This will be weekly unless stated otherwise.
Okay.
Yeah, weekly unless stated otherwise.
Definitely.
I think that's a good question. I'm sorry I didn't address that earlier. You said that will this be every Friday? I'm sorry we did not. I missed it. But yes, this is like I said, weekly until stated otherwise. So we're gonna go ahead and sign off, guys. Thank y'all very much for your time. We will see y'all on the next one. Peace.
Later.
Later.
Later, everyone.